This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Partly cloudy, 24 today with the 6 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Had a bingle driving to work? Contact FIVEAA Panel Services at premierpanel.com.au.
COVID has forced thousands of local students to revert to remote learning. 10 public schools in SA are now closed as the virus affects staffing numbers. Schools include Playford International College, Brighton Secondary and Paralowie Reception to Year 12. The daily case numbers yesterday were a record 5,784. Traditional Anzac Day activities will return to Adelaide this year after 2 years of COVID interruptions. Numbers will be unrestricted and masks won't be required at outdoor events. The RSL's Keith Harrison says they're excited to welcome back crowds.
People are ready for it, they're looking forward to it, so it gives us an opportunity to have full services again and the public are welcome.
The date for the first financial blueprint from the new Labor government will be known today. The date for the first Malanaska state budget will be revealed as the new parliamentary sitting schedule is unveiled. The policy announced a $3.1 billion policy agenda prior to the election. The Prime Minister has been publicly taken to task over the cost of living by a pubgoer in Newcastle. Scott Morrison made a visit to the Edgeworth Tavern on the outskirts of the city. The disability support pensioner took the opportunity to slam Mr Morrison about the lack of financial support for older Australians.
This is what you said when you got elected last time. We're going to help all those people that worked all their lives, paid their taxes, and those that have a go will get a go. Correct. Well, I've had a go, mate.
The US and Britain have imposed further sanctions against major Russian banks and more members of the nation's elite. The country's largest bank will have its assets frozen in both America and the UK, and President Putin's 2 adult daughters are among those newly targeted by the measures. US President Joe Biden says current sanctions could wipe out 15 years of Russia's economic developments by the end of this year.
Because we've cut Russia off from importing technologies like semiconductors and encryption security and critical components of quantum technology that they need to compete in the 21st century. We're going to stifle Russia's ability and its economy to grow for years to come.
The fallout from the Oscars slap continues. The LAPD has responded to reports it should have stepped in and arrested Will Smith after he attacked Chris Rock. But there was only one officer inside the auditorium. He was backstage and didn't see the slap. With misdemeanor battery, the offence has to be committed with a member of the LAPD present. A citizen's arrest was the only other option. Now to FIVEAA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
The pressure's on for Port to chalk up their first win of the season tonight. Tom Cleary returns to the side for the clash against the Demons at Adelaide Oval. Coach Ken Hinkley says it's been a less than ideal start to the season, but they need to keep looking forward.
Our responsibility is to work hard and get these results turned back around as quick as we possibly can. I get that everyone would be equally as frustrated as I am. I 100% agree and understand the frustration that goes into any football season, and be it lucky or unlucky, I've been around a long time and I understand that the frustrations get big at times like these, but they can quickly disappear if you can just turn things around.
Jake Lever will play for Melbourne, replacing Joel Smith, while Taylor Walker is back for the Crows on Sunday's clash against Essendon, but Bombers coach Ben Rutten won't be there. He's a COVID close contact. Well, Melbourne has forced the WNBL Grand Final Series to a deciding third game with a 1-point win over Perth. Formula One is back down under. The gates will open at Albert Park in Melbourne this morning, but the cars won't be on the track for their first practice session till tomorrow. Australian McLaren driver Daniel Ricciardo says it's still early in the season.
A lot to learn with these new cars, and I think we'll just at some point hopefully get onto something and then be in much better shape.
That's FIVEAA Sport. Now the forecast.
When glass breaks, call the experts at O'Brien.
O'Brien. 24, partly cloudy today, mostly sunny tomorrow 26, Saturday sunny and 28. Right now it's 15 degrees. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
Help create a home for South Australians impacted by cancer. Visit 202greenhill.com.au.
You're listening to FIVEAA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Well, that's what you think. It's 6:05 on FIVEAA. Good morning. The role of Will Goodings being played by the understudy Michael Smith this morning. Yes, this is a really interesting turn of events. The Rona, the spicy cough has taken out the boy wonder, Will testing positive to COVID last night. So here's the scenario, right? I'm driving home from Channel 7. I get a call from the boss here at 5AA saying, Smithy, how would you feel about doing breakfast on AA tomorrow because Will has come down with coronavirus? Oh, Craig, that sounds fantastic. Yeah, love to. Be up and about at 4 in the morning. No worries at all. Come in and see you. So I turn up here and have a chat to Lucy and Sam about what's going to be on the show, expecting David's going to be in as well. Of course, as you know, David's been at home isolating for a week with coronavirus. 5:10, David rings up. Not feeling very well. Talk about the deep end, folks. The 5AA breakfast show with David and Will, without David and Will. Anyway, I was coming in for my regular 3-minute flashback segment, right, as I do on a Thursday, now turning it into 3 hours of chat. But, hey, great rundown here. I love Thursdays. You know, I listen to this show every day, so it's about... I feel a bit like Victor Kiam, you know, the Remington guy who loved the shaver so much he bought the company. I love 5AA so much. I've climbed into the radio this morning. And Thursdays are a great day to be here at AA because, of course, Matthew Abraham comes in. He's got a terrific, incisive knowledge of all things politics, great sense of humour as well. The Spin King, get his Mitre 10 out of 10 on the spin of the week. Michael Smith from Channel 7. Keeping the sponsors happy. Michael Smith from Channel 7 will be here with his excellent flashback segment. Oh, I think it's fantastic anyway. I don't know what you make of it. So I look forward to ringing up and talking to myself about flashback. We're actually doing the heyday of roller skating in Adelaide today. I used to go to downtown on a Saturday afternoon with my sister, but maybe you went out to skate line at Modbury or Spinners at Hindmarsh. Eastwood Rollerdrome was also very popular. So if you've got some great memories of fun on 4 wheels in the 80s, give us a buzz on 82230000. Of course, you can send us a text at any time this morning on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line. The number for that, 0448 08 1395. And I'm really excited today because Tom Duday comes in on a Thursday. I'm a big fan of El Duderino, the Dude, not only because he speaks really articulately about footy, but he has an encyclopedic knowledge of movies and TV. So looking forward to getting his tips. I can't believe, I think he got something like 23 out of the 25 Academy Award winners last week. So as I mentioned, Will out with the Rona. David's tested positive this morning. Thank goodness. The man for all seasons, Tom Wren, is here to hold my hand and guide me through this. Hello, Rennie.
Michael, you do not need your hand held. You are absolutely flying off the top. You can just stretch out that flashback segment to a good hour and a half, I reckon.
Were you a roller skater as a kid?
I did. I used to love roller skating.
Yeah.
I had a ball doing it. I had 2 sisters, so both older, and they showed me the ropes. I wasn't great at it, but loved it. Loved it. So I'm looking forward to that.
I used to like going to downtown because not only could you roller skate, but then you could play air hockey and do the dodgem cars as well, and play Space Invaders and that sort of stuff too.
I still love playing air hockey. I take my 8-year-old to the 10-pin bowling, and they often have the games, and you just pour through the money there. But I try and get into that one because it's a little bit of a slower spend that way. But I love the air hockey. Yeah. I get more excitement out of it than he does. Which is a little bit sad probably, but I love those kinds of things. Very nostalgic, so it brings back a lot of good memories.
So we'd love to hear from people later in the show their roller skating memories in Adelaide at 6:09 on 5AA Breakfast with Understudy 1 and regular Rennie here. You're the man. You fill in every show on the station.
I feel like I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman. That's me. I'm the guy, the scum, sort of a replacement player that comes in and nobody really wants to watch them or hear from them. But here I am, with you. I think I'm only here for a third of the show, though, so we're a bit of a tag team today because the lovely Jade Robran, we're going to get some real professionals.
No, the real story is you said I work with Smithy, but only for an hour.
That's it. I will not work for longer than an hour with that man. I cannot be in the same studio with him for more than an hour. So, no, she'll be here from after 7 o'clock. So
you've got a breakfast to go and host.
Yeah, so I'm off just after that, but Jade will be coming in from 7 until 9 o'clock this morning.
Excellent. I love listening to Jade of an afternoon here on AA as well. Now, speaking of replacements, we could do with some replacement teachers around the place at the moment. This coronavirus, 10 schools now, I think, have been closed as a result. It might even be 11, and some major ones amongst them too. The likes of Brighton High, Roma, Mitchell Secondary College, Playford International, some big schools. A lot of the teachers, I guess, are out as a result of being close contacts, not necessarily having the virus themselves. There is some talk that that close contact rule is going to be examined in a couple of weeks. Gee, that would make things a lot easier.
I think so. And look, I sort of look at it through the prism of the sporting landscape, which is, you know, what I kind of do, probably not always to my benefit, but it has definitely affected a lot of people there, but I think a lot of people in their professions as well. Like you just touched on, David Pemberthy out for a week as a close contact. Now he gets coronavirus and he's going to be out for another 7 to 10 days. So it's affected a lot of people like that. My sister has been in the same boat, one of them. So this is going to be significant again for those teachers you've just touched on. We'd love to hear from you this morning if you're a student, teacher, parent, otherwise involved. 8223 0000, or send us a text on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line 0448 08 1395.
Yeah, how are you managing it, doing online learning again at home? How much pressure does this put on teachers to come up with that additional material so kids can access it remotely? And I guess a lot of schools are using it as a circuit breaker, a chance to reset, so that hopefully they can put a lid on numbers. And interestingly, all of the predictions about when it's going to peak in South Australia, 8,000 we were hearing a week or so ago, then they were saying 5,000, and then yesterday we had this record number. So I'd be curious to see how close it gets to 6,000 today. 8223 if you'd like to join us. It's gone through Channel 9 like a dose of salt, hasn't it?
Big time. Yeah, we've lost staff. We had Will McDonald off. He was a close contact for a week or so. I think it's been the same at 7. We've had various staff, you know, and it hits everywhere. And I know we're no Robinson Crusoe as an organisation, you know, editors, cameramen, you know, journalists, etc. And it can become pretty debilitating. Same for you at 7, I'm sure. You're down to bare bones. It really puts pressure on everyone else, doesn't it?
It feels like a game of whack-a-mole, and I'm sure it's the same in any organisation. You know, one person comes back and then 2 go out. We actually had to fly people in from interstate to get our election broadcast to air because the technical crew had been impacted, as well as makeup, editors, cameramen, things like that. Already getting texts through on roller skating memories on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line.
Good.
0448 08 1395. Sam has said, I love going to downtown, had my own roller skates. I remember the overnight lock-ins, felt so grown up, spent so many Saturday nights there.
You know what, you're going to laugh at this. I used to do my roller skating. We used to have a big driveway. Well, Mum and Dad still lived there out at Banksia Park, and my 2 sisters, because they sort of ruled the cassette tape, you know, the old cassette tape. Back in the day, they used to play Roxette, Madonna, and we used to roller skate. So they're my memories growing up as a 6, 7-year-old, you know, roller skating around with Roxette and Madonna and the Eurythmics and a few others just
Well, curiously, I've caught up with Heather Kroll, you know, the Fringe director, who still skates around now. She's a big skater from way back when, grew up in Whyalla, fond memories there, came down to Adelaide as a boarding student and went to downtown and Eastwood a lot. She was roller skating in her lounge room during lockdown to keep entertained. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. Well, look, speaking of masks and schools, we put the call out. Roger from Wollonga has given us a call. Roger, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Just a little, in inverted commas, curiosity. The amount of school kids that are getting on the school runs of an afternoon, you've got the teachers there handing out masks, and the amount of kids that just walk on, no masks, full, crowded, standing room only bus trips, and here we are, the drivers, having to wear masks. No wonder the thing spreads. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, you know, you get a lot of kids packed into tight spaces. It's only logical, isn't it, that it's going to spread pretty quickly amongst those kids. And I think that's probably where a lot of it has manifested itself. But, I mean, it's hard to sort of legislate against it. We want the kids back, but, you know, we're going to get this as a side effect, I suppose.
That's the cohort. A lot of school camps, kids are coming back from that infected. Then, of course, that leads to the parents being in isolation as well. 14 past 6 now on 5AA Breakfast. Michael Smith and Tom Wren in for Will and Dave. If you've just joined in, they're both out with the Rona.
Right now, across Adelaide, DIYers are taking up their spades and mallets for a great cause. The cause? Cause if they don't get that outdoor paving, retaining wall or steps done before winter, it'll be another 12 months before they do. Cause when it comes to outdoor paving, walls and steps, now's the time to save up to 20% off Lutum, formerly Boral, Adelaide-made pavers, blocks and bricks. Cause you can do it yourself. Get up to 20% off and relax over winter. Whew. See your Lutum reseller today, cause this offer won't last.
Hey, it's Callum here. Looking for something small, medium or large? Edwardstown Mazda have most models in stock, ready to drive away. You can feel confident in the team at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
edwardstownmazda.com.au, LMVD 207428.
If you want a retaining wall that will last through searing summers, wet winters and everything in between, you must use concrete sleepers from Outback Sleepers.
Now, Michael, they are perfect for building a retaining wall or garden edging and come in a variety of patterns and colours.
Outback Sleepers are the strongest concrete sleepers on the market and come with a 35-year product warranty. Once you put that in, it's there for a lifetime. If your builder isn't using Outback Sleepers, you need to be asking why not.
And the thing is too, Michael, in the last 20 years, this SA company, they've got some practice. They've made over 3 million of them. They'll last for generations because the company that makes them only makes concrete sleepers, nothing else.
If you want to get your hands on some, ask for the brand Outback Sleepers. They're sold at over 60 local landscaping and hardware stockists, and you can look online at outbacksleepers.com.au.
I feel like I've been counting sheep all night.
Sounds like you need circadian.
Don't you mean circadian rhythm?
No, circadian. It's prolonged release melatonin and it helps improve sleep quality.
Circadian?
Yeah, circadian. And it's now available without prescription from your pharmacist. Thinking melatonin? Think circadian. Sleep better, live better. Visit circadian.com.au. For people 55 years or older, ask your pharmacist. They must decide if this product is right for you.
Your pals say a lot about you. And that's why Parafield Airport Liquor Store put all their pals to the test before they make the shelf. They've made pals with over 300 craft beers, 500 whiskies from around the world, and over 2,000 wines. They know good pals when they see them. And they've got an airport hangar full of pals to introduce you to. Parafield Airport Liquor Store. Pals. Open till late 7 days. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
We don't just say we're local. We are local. 9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate to cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support this April.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Well, it's actually their stunt doubles this morning, Michael Smith and Tom Penn at 6:18. Getting lots of nice texts about roller skating memories in Adelaide on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line if you'd like to join in, 0448 08 1395. Michelle says, loved skating at downtown. I do all the weekend sessions. Loved it so much. Still got my roller skates. Put them on and skate around the family room, Rennie.
And I love this one as well. That's a beauty. G'day, B team. Thanks for that, but we are. I'm actually happy with B team.
Yeah, I was going to say D in my case. You're a B.
No, I think I'm close to F. Got my first pash at Eastwood roller skating during a couples roll. Fond memory as a 12-year-old. That's early for a pash.
Pashing
well
at Eastwood.
Cheers, Quentin. So pretty happy with that. This one as well, Michael, just off the text. Guys, just got home from getting a test. There are literally no lines at the racecourse. If you need to get a test, suggest going to get it right now. Cheers, Brian.
Yes, in case you're wondering why Tom and I are here this morning, it's because both David and Will have the Rona. So we're going to, muddle along. Jade's going to be here from 7. Let's look at some of the news headlines. Speaking of COVID, wreaking havoc across the education system at the moment. 11 public schools across South Australia have now closed. As of yesterday, the Education Department says they've moved to remote learning. They're in regional and metro areas, including Millicent North Primary. I wonder if Leith Forrest went there. He's Millicent's favourite son, isn't he?
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
Might be an old scholar. Probably a statue in the playground.
With a nice coffee.
Yeah, of course. And it'd have to be, yes, Alfie Hannaford. I wonder if he sculpted that. Leith Forrest holding a nice coffee. The Roman Mitchell Secondary School is amongst them, Parafield Gardens High, Brighton Secondary, and Henley High as well. So good luck to parents who might be homeschooling who've got kids affected by all of that. And we're being, of course, reminded about the importance of getting both our COVID and flu shots with this potential sort of confluence of the two into the winter months. Been hardly any flu cases over the last couple of years, I guess mainly because we've been taking so many precautions in relation to COVID. But as they're slowly eased and more people flying from overseas, could be a potential a lethal mix. Infectious diseases expert Dr. Paul Griffin says there is a chance of contracting both viruses.
There are certainly case reports of people getting both, and it does tend to very significantly increase the severity. I mean, that's likely to not be something that happens commonly commonly, but if we have a little bit of flu around and coupled with the amount of COVID that we're still likely to have through winter, together those two infections are going to amount to a very significant burden on our healthcare system.
We had our jabs at Channel 7 a couple of days ago. They give them to you for Channel 9 as well?
Yeah, so just booked in. But it's funny you mentioned about the flu and corona. So both the boys were off last week. They had runny noses, and you're petrified about sending your kids to school or childcare, with any kinds of symptoms. So kept them at home. Did the rat test 3 times, negative, PCR test negative. So there is just other stuff that is floating around at the moment. But, because people don't want to get other people infected or, whatever, you're keeping them at home. So there is a bit of other stuff that's going about the place. So it's easy to forget about, other symptoms that are hovering around the place at the moment.
There is this sense of inevitability about it, isn't there? I went to the GP a couple of days ago and he said, "Oh, how are you going? You've had coronavirus yet?" And I said, "No, touch Lamex or whatever your desk's made off, champ." And he said, "Oh, well, you'll get it." So I thought, well, why not come into the Petri dish that is 5AA and go home with a Waller's voucher and coronavirus for my services?
Two for the price of one.
Why not? 21 past 6. We're looking at the news headlines of the day. Michael Smith and Tom ran in for Will and David this morning. This is good news. Traditional Anzac Day activities are going to be returning to normal. Of course, they've been COVID interrupted for the last couple of years, so there'll be as many people as normal, hopefully, at the National War Memorial on North Terrace for the dawn service there. The RSL's Keith Harrison certainly really excited to be welcoming back crowds this year.
People are ready for it, they're looking forward to it, so it gives us an opportunity to have full services again, and the public are welcome.
One of the things that I really like is they have that vigil the night before at the War Memorial with all the young service people sort of holding guard. So that'll be terrific, and it'll be nice to see people back to full services. There's that lovely dawn service down at Brighton every year by the Arch of Remembrance, and of course to have a full crowd out at the Anzac Day March will be terrific as well.
It's outstanding. I go to Rosewater every year, play the trumpet out there.
Yes, I'd forgotten.
So it's only a very little service. I reckon there were... usually gets about 200 there, but it's fantastic, and all the locals come out and get involved. It's just, a real community atmosphere. It's fantastic.
Tommy the trumpeter, I'd forgotten about you. You've played Vegas with your trumpet, haven't you?
I need to get along with Britney Spears and Elton John over there.
A residence at Caesar's Palace or something. Tommy's trumpet, I can see it on the Welcome to Vegas, Tommy's trumpet. What else have we got happening in the news today? Some brightly coloured and flavoured vaping products which claim to be nicotine-free could be banned under a national crackdown on e-cigarettes. A review into vaping has shown that younger non-smokers who vape are around 3 times more likely to smoke than non-vapers. The Australian National University has been looking at global evidence to help better inform government decisions surrounding the habit. Epidemiology and population health professor Emily Banks says people need to be made more aware of the potential risks.
Young people have been sold a lie that these are just harmless water vapour. And the best available evidence is that they can deliver hundreds of chemicals, and a number of those chemicals we know are harmful. So we really need to do something to stop that widespread use of e-cigarettes by young people.
23 past 6. Rennie, what's happening on the weather front today?
Well, how good is it? Important tonight because we've got the football, of course, and that'll be on 7. It's Port Adelaide and Melbourne. Big game tonight for the Power. Partly
Thanks for the cross-network plug, by the way, then. That's very magnanimous. Thank you.
Well, we've got to do it. We're a sharing kind of a duo, you and I. Partly cloudy, 24 degrees, so beautiful conditions for the football tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, 26 degrees, so another beautiful day. How about Saturday? I think this is the pick of the bunch. 28 degrees, sunny conditions, just magnificent. 29, becoming cloudy, so not bad up for Sunday either. Then we start to get the change. 23 on Monday, a shower or two, up to 10 millimetres of rain potentially for Monday. Tuesday, 21, a shower or two, and next Wednesday, partly cloudy and 23 degrees.
As I mentioned, looking forward to talking to Michael Smith from Channel 7 when he rings in later for his flashback segment.
I'm looking forward to that.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
That
Speaks in the
segment's
third person a bit. But...
Well, he does. Yes. But we're still getting text through on your roller skating memories. Another one nice here from Rob saying, we used to take our kids roller skating at St Clair at Woodville. I think you can still go roller skating at the rec centre there.
Is that right?
Went out to Ingle Farm the other week, where it's very popular. Still no dedicated skating rink in Adelaide, but we'll talk to Michael Smith about that when he rings in later.
Adelaide BMW has a new home at Medindi BMW, specialising in next-day genuine BMW servicing and a large range of premium certified used BMWs. Visit Medindi BMW today at number 1 Main North Road, Medindi.
You know us for our bright blue vans. Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. We are the proud winners of the Product Review Award for Plumbing in Australia for 2020 and 21. Did you know we offer $0 deposit interest-free payment plans, have no extra charge for after hours, and can also often be at your door within the hour? Metropolitan Plumbing, Electrical and Air Conditioning. Available 24/7.
Now, full crowds are back at Adelaide Oval, and it's going to be the case again tonight. And if you've ever experienced Adelaide Oval at full capacity, you'll know it's quite an experience.
Especially if it's a Port Adelaide home game. Picture an ocean of people singing in unison at the top of their lungs. It's quite a spectacle and an incredible vibe.
It's the best pre-game, I think, in the AFL by that far. It's not funny. It is seriously next-level passion and something we should all experience. And tonight provides the perfect opportunity to see and feel that passion firsthand when Port Adelaide takes on reigning premiers Melbourne at Adelaide Oval.
Tickets start from just $35. They're available from Ticketek right now. So jump online, secure your tickets for what promises to be a huge game tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a ripper, Michael. Port Adelaide takes on the reigning premiers Melbourne at Adelaide Oval tonight. Don't miss it.
A kid's playground, rubbish. A park bench, rubbish. A nature boardwalk, rubbish. You see, the Australian government is helping industry to transform your old rubbish into incredible new things. Proudly remade in Australia. Like this outdoor gym, rubbish. Even this brand new road, rubbish. Every time you recycle, you're helping to remake Australia into a better place for everyone. Remade in Australia. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Get the latest kitchen and bathroom brands at Adelaide Bathroom and Kitchen Supplies. The ABK Supplies showroom has just been updated to showcase sinkware for all budgets, including Oliveri, Abbey, Mir, Castano, BUK, and classic durable fine fire clay sinks from 1901 and Turner Hastings. With finishes in polished and brushed stainless steel, brushed nickel, bronze, and many other finishes, your kitchen or laundry will be stylish and timeless. Adelaide Bathroom and Kitchen Supplies, Lower North East Road, opposite Durnancourt Village.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
Help create a home for South Australians impacted by cancer. Visit 202greenhill.com.au.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Understudies on today. If you want your money back, you can see the 5AA box office. But if you look carefully at the back of your ticket, there's always a chance you're not going to have the people you paid to see anyway. Time to check sport now with Tom Wren at 6:28. Thanks to the all-new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with a 10-year warranty, 10-year capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi. Rennie.
Port Adelaide and Melbourne tonight, Michael. What a game. I mean, coming into this one, you wouldn't have thought that Port would be 0-3 and Melbourne 3-0. You can believe the Melbourne part. Reigning premiers, a great side, probably the favourites to win it again. But Port Adelaide have really struggled. A few factors, injuries, a couple of moments they'd like to have back. They could have easily beaten Brisbane week 1. They should have beaten the Crows, I think, last week. But here we are. It's a must-win game. If they lose tonight, I think it's just about season done. So they've made the one change. Tom Cleary, only 4 weeks back after having knee surgery. That's a risk. There's no doubt in my mind he'd be a bit underdone, but they need him to play. They're short on defenders, and Melbourne are playing really good footy. So huge game. We just did a read about, the atmosphere. The crowd, if ever there's going to be a night where they need to will their players across the line, it's tonight. Huge game for Port. Like I said, if you're 0-4, I think you can just about kiss finals goodbye. 1-3, it's manageable. The Crows in their 2 premiership seasons were 1-3. So they have to win. They have to find a way to get it done. Not going to be easy.
No doubt after you watching the footy tonight, you'll be flicking on the golf.
No question. So I'll be going straight from 7 over to Channel 9 Gem, and that is because the golf is on. I won't be getting any sleep tonight, actually.
Do you ever sleep anyway?
Not really.
No.
US Masters, probably my favourite major, almost my favourite sporting event, full stop, for the year. There's just a magic and nostalgia about it. 91 players in the field, 6 Australians. We've only ever had one Aussie winner, Adam Scott. I think it was 2014, maybe 2013. But Cameron Smith is one of the pre-tournament favourites. He can do it. He's got the mullet. He's a typical Aussie, drinks a beer every day or has a few beers every day, and he's playing magnificent golf. I think he's got the best short game in the world right now. So needs to start well, but a huge opportunity for Cam Smith. And don't discount our only other winner, Adam Scott, to go very close as well. So fingers crossed they have a good start at the US Masters tonight.
6:30 on 5AA Breakfast. Michael Smith and Tom Wren for Will and Dave. Time for the news now with Mel.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 24 today. With the 6:30 news, I'm Mel Usher.
Had a bingle driving to work? Contact premierpanel.com.au. RAA approved crash repairer.
The education system is feeling the effects of COVID. Remote learning is back on the agenda for more than 7,000 students as the virus hits staffing numbers. 10 public schools are closed today. Well, the federal government is being urged to follow the lead of European countries and expel Russian diplomats from Australia. Michael Packy has more.
France, Germany and Italy are among the European Union countries to expel more than 200 Russian diplomats in retaliation for the invasion of Ukraine. Labor believes we should do the same thing in Australia. The opposition says the only person that should remain is the Russian ambassador, so there's still a communication link to Moscow. So far, the Morrison government has imposed travel bans and economic sanctions on individuals and Russian entities, but is yet to expel any officials.
The United States is taking additional actions to increase economic pressure on Russia. It has placed new sanctions on financial institutions, as well as Putin's adult daughters and the wife and the daughter of his foreign minister, while the Mariupol City Council says the Russian army is using mobile crematoriums to burn the bodies of murdered civilians and destroy evidence of war crimes. Telstra has launched a new filter it hopes will cut down the number of scam text messages received by customers. Madeline McNeil explains.
The telco says it's activated the technology for all of its customers and virtual operators using its network. It's designed to sniff out malicious web links and spot the patterns of automated scam campaigns. Telstra says it will be able to tell the difference between spam and legitimate messages from businesses and government. Unwanted political campaign messages will still make it through, as the company doesn't have authority to block them.
Researchers have found an unhealthy childhood increases a person's chances of suffering a heart attack or stroke decades later. The team has discovered BMI, blood pressure, cholesterol, smoking status and a type of fat found in the blood are linked with cardiovascular issues later in life. Professor Terence Dwyer says prevention should start in the early years.
Up to this point, we've taken a fairly lukewarm approach to doing much about lifestyle and risk factors in children. And this data says we can't be too relaxed about it anymore. If we are, then we are leaving children with a legacy for the future that we shouldn't be leaving.
Singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran has hit out at the culture of copyright claims after a court victory. UK correspondent Brett McLeod has the story.
In a video post after his court win, Ed Sheeran says he hopes it puts an end to future baseless claims. Performer Sammy Switch claims Sheeran's hit Shape of You was a rip-off of his own song recorded 2 years earlier. A High Court judge has now ruled in Sheeran's favour, saying there was no evidence he'd heard the earlier song. In a video, the musician says these sorts of plagiarism claims are way too common now.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty. 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Round 4 in the AFL kicks off tonight. Port Adelaide have made one change to their lineup as they prepare to face the Demons at Adelaide Oval. Tom Cleary is back, replacing Sam Skinner. Jake Lever returns to Melbourne's lineup. Joel Smith has been omitted. Collingwood Vice-Captain Taylor Adams will miss Saturday's game against West Coast after testing positive to COVID, while Essendon coach Ben Rutten won't coach this weekend due to COVID. Eddie Summerfield reports.
Ben Rutten is isolating at home after being deemed a household close contact. At this stage, he's testing negative to COVID. 2000 Premiership player Blake Carousella will coach in place of Rutten. He's the third AFL coach to be sidelined through protocols this season, following Carlton's Michael Voss and Fremantle's Justin Longmuir. The Bombers play Adelaide on Sunday.
Olympic bronze medalist Harry Garside has won the Australian lightweight boxing title, and Joe Wilfred Songa will retire from tennis after the French Open. The former world number 5 has struggled with injuries in recent years. That's 5AA Sport, now the 5AA forecast.
When glass breaks, call the experts at O'Brien. O'Brien.
A partly cloudy Thursday with a top of 24, mostly sunny tomorrow 26, and then sunny and up to 28 degrees on Saturday. Right now it's 15. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Then I saw her face. Then I saw her face.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate to cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support this April.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
25 to 7, that's not Will Goodings, that's not David Penberthy. Who's that rooster on my radio? Michael Smith and Tom Wren in for the boys. If you just joined us, they're both out with the Rona.
Cannot believe it. You got the call. I think we got the call, Lucy and Sam, at 5:10 this morning. David was out. That's a lading clue. That's like football. They've got the first bounce. The umpire's got the ball in the hand, ready to bounce the ball, and one player's pulled out injured.
That's the ultimate late scratching, isn't it? 50 minutes before air, not coming in, champs. So thanks for having us on your wireless this morning. 82230000 is still the number, despite the fact that we're not normally here. You're normally there at the other end of the wireless, and you can send us texts, of course, on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line 0448 08 1395. Of course, a lot of people expecting Scott Morrison to call the federal election in the next few days. I think Smitho at Channel 7 was tipping maybe Sunday. Could happen before then, 14th or the 21st of May, the likely date. But, of course, the pollies are already out and about. A couple of seats in play here in South Australia, Boothby and Sturt looking particularly marginal. Anthony Albanese, the Labor leader, had a bit of an issue at a press conference in Western Australia yesterday when somebody tried to ask a question and he said, I'm only going to talk to journos. He was sort of rebuffing him. Scott Morrison was in Newcastle in New South Wales last night and had an interesting encounter with a bloke in a pub. He was visiting the Edgeworth Tavern and was cornered by this pensioner, and this, the huge media scrum with all the TV lights and cameras captured this. ScoMo looking particularly uncomfortable as this bloke sort of went at him over disability pensions.
Okay, a pensioner is allowed to earn a couple of $100 before it affects his pension. Right, now I'm being treated, I've been fighting for 12 years, mate. 12 years. You treat a disability pensioner that's worked all his life, paid his taxes, now he's getting taxed again. This is what you said when you got elected last time. We've got to help all those people that worked all their lives, paid their taxes, and those that have a go will get a go. Well, I've had a go, mate. I've worked all my life and paid my taxes. Yes. All right. Now, who can I contact tomorrow? Hey, I'm doing this before the election, mate, because this is 2 promises that you made. You know another promise that you made? You got to have an integrity position. I've been to welfare rights, everything. You got the foxes looking after the hen.
Speak up for yourself. Good on you, man. Good on you.
Awkward encounter, and they're often the defining moments in an election campaign, aren't they?
They can be. I mean, we saw the famous handshake, between John Howard and Mark Latham. I think we saw with ScoMo as well that the bushfire victims before coronavirus really broke out, those handshakes where people refuse to shake his hand. It can be a politician's worst nightmare because it's unscripted. You don't know what's coming, whereas when you get questions from journalists, I know it can be quite confrontational and difficult, but you probably know what the narrative is going to be going in, and you can rehearse it a little bit. But with someone like that, and you know what, good on honour him for having his say, but you just don't know where they're going with it.
No, and you wonder how anxious the PM security detail gets. I mean, the bloke wasn't looking threatening, but ScoMo literally was in the corner of this tavern in Newcastle with the media scrum.
And there's nowhere to go.
There's nowhere to go.
The cameras are there, and if you walk away, it looks rude. So how you conduct yourself in that moment, you're right. You're getting judged as much on that as your policy and every other speech you make.
I also remember seeing Bob Hawke years ago in a shopping centre, and he was having a chat to an old bloke. Forgot, of course, the TV mics are there, and said, "Oh, silly old bugger." That went viral for some time as well.
That's right, it did too.
I mentioned Anthony Albanese was in the West. He had an issue too when this person tried to ask a question out of turn, I guess, at this press conference.
I'm not a media person. I'm just a local resident. Thank you for coming to my neck of the woods. I've got a tough question.
Hang on.
I've got a tough question. Are you up for it?
I'm absolutely up for it.
Okay.
And sorry, we can't really do that. The protocol, the Media Alliance will be a bit upset if we...
I don't think the media will mind at all. I've said, are you up for it? Are you up for it?
I'm absolutely up for it.
Okay, so my question is, a few...
We're just taking questions from journalists because that's what you do at a press conference.
So you're not up for it?
If there are any questions...
Are you up for it, Premier McGowan?
Sort of.
Are you up for it?
I'm here to do a press conference for the press. Well, we can chat with you afterwards, mate.
Thank you. Happy to have a chat afterwards, mate.
There you go.
Shut him down.
Don't want to talk to real people in an election campaign, do you? It reminds me of that incident. Remember Stephen Marshall was holding that media conference at the back of Adelaide Botanic High. It was a COVID update, and that protester was trying to ask questions and was tackled to the ground. That didn't end well.
Well, curiosity, we were talking about that a little bit earlier, but I am curious, what was the question? I wonder.
Yes, I want to know now.
Did they chat to him afterwards?
Yeah. It's 19 to 7 on 5AA Breakfast. Michael Smith and Tom Wren in for Will and Dave. They're both out with the Rona. If you just joined us, I got the call on the way home from Channel 7 last night from the boss here at AA saying, Will's gone down, would you like to fill in? Rolled up this morning thinking I've been working with Pembo. He rings in at 5:10 and says, survey says, I'm not coming in either. So I tweeted last night that I'd been called up for active service on the wireless this morning at short notice, and always get a bit twitchy about getting up at 4 a.m. and coming in here. So Mick Abbott, who you would remember from Police Media, very funny man.
His son now works with me at Channel 9.
Does he really?
He's an editor, great editor.
Mick was a great man, very funny, always helpful to deal with at Police Media.
He's brilliant.
So I didn't reveal which station I was going to be on this morning. So Mick tweeted some advice, and I think he sort of summed up Adelaide radio stations particularly well in this tweet. So he said, if you're going on AA, just talk about the old days. If you're going on Mix, make up a funny story about your kids. If you're going on Triple M, talk about footy, drop a rumour about a Crows player. If you're going on the ABC, interview the police commissioner and call him SA's top cop, or call him Grant like you know him. And if you're going on SAFM, just play Solids a Swing. So you're a very funny man, Mick Abbott.
I'll tell you what, you might get a few more calls by the end of the day because the Rona is sweeping through at the moment, isn't it?
Well, that's right. This is the Hindmarsh Square. It used to be the Dream Factory. We call it the Hindmarsh Square Rona Petri dish now. Just about everyone in this joint's gone out with it, haven't they?
Oh, it's been incredible. Yeah, sales staff, on-air staff, everyone's been copping it, producers, you name it. So hopefully we'll battle on through, and you and I, we haven't had it yet, fingers crossed it stays that way.
I reckon I'll have it by the end of the day.
Yeah.
If I don't stop licking the keyboard, I'll get... Time to check the traffic now. Get your tickets for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery's biggest ever $4 million grand prize.
Good morning. Roads working pretty well this morning, so if you're up early, you shouldn't have too many hassles getting to work. Simply some roadworks to look out for. West Hindmarsh, drainage works on Port Road near South Road heading outbound. Good lane closed there at the moment. Darlington works on the Flagstaff Road upgrade continue. Still the South Road intersection does get pretty slow throughout the morning, and we've got speeds reduced this morning at Myrtle Bank. That's for the intersection upgrade works of Glen Osmond Road and Fullerton Road. A few cameras about too. Jetty Road, Largs Bay, Mercy Road, Osborne, and Tatachilla Road at McLaren Vale. Amart's massive Easter sale is on now. Save up to 50% off a huge range of lounges, bedroom and much more. Amart Furniture stores open late tonight. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Bridgestone Select will get you road trip ready for the long weekend with these great deals. Buy 3 selected Bridgestone tyres and you'll get the 4th free. Conditions apply. For tyres and auto service you can count on, head for Bridgestone Select.
G'day, it's Jared for Southern Mitsubishi. Thinking Mitsubishi or servicing your existing car? Southern Mitsubishi is your absolute go-to. Their state-of-the-art servicing technology and world-class quality control systems will ensure your vehicle gives you many years of hassle-free motoring pleasure. The same goes for buying a new Mitsubishi. They stock the full range, all designed to thrill. So get in touch with the amazing team at Southern Mitsubishi, 147 Main South Road, Morphett Vale. Driven by Australian Motors. LVD 80.
Thanks Frydenberg and ScoMo for the $250. That works out to $1.60 a week over the next 3 years. Tell them they're dreaming. Vote 1, United Australia Party. Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
It isn't waste until you waste it. That's the catch cry from an amazing company called Eco Waste Solutions. Eco Waste Solutions is a hard waste recycling facility, not a dump, located at Williston. They'll take everything except hazardous waste and food scraps. They'll take your waste bricks, your mattresses, tyres, soil, timber, steel, concrete and more. Plus, if you pre-sort your load, you receive a 50% discount on disposal fees. Google Eco Waste Solutions Williston for more.
There's something you should know about SportsMed. We don't just provide knee, hip and shoulder care to elite athletes.
Every day, we treat patients who simply want to get Play with the Kids fit, Brisk Walk fit, or Gardening fit. And having our clinic, hospital and specialists all based together at Stepney makes getting care for your joint pain and injuries, from diagnosis to rehabilitation, even easier. So get back to doing what you love. Speak with your GP for a referral. sportsmed.com.au.
Let's get things back off track with the Nissan X-Trail, featuring Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Plus, get a standard 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty and roadside assist. Nissan, experience X-Trail. T's and C's apply.
We don't just say we're local. We are local. 9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
Help create a home for South Australians impacted by cancer. Visit 202greenhill.com.au.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
7:15 now. Michael Smith and Tom Wren in for Will and Dave this morning. You can always head to the 5AA live stream on either Facebook or YouTube to see the B team, rather than just listen to us on the wireless. Proudly partnering with Cancer Council SA. Let's see what's happening on the weather front today. Tom Bowick joins us from the Bureau this morning. Hello, Tom.
G'day, Michael. G'day, Tom.
How are things looking? It looks like we've got a sensational weekend, but first off, I suppose, the football tonight. Are we looking for a clear evening in terms of weather?
Yes. That's in Adelaide, I assume.
Yes.
Show my ignorance.
No, yeah. Big game at Adelaide Oval tonight, so fingers crossed we're looking okay.
Yeah, that's looking awesome, actually. So, look, we have a maximum today of 24 degrees for Adelaide. Perhaps a little bit of cloud around, but I think there'll be plenty of sunshine as well. And, moving into the evening, it should be fairly pleasant conditions. It'll be a bit of a southeasterly wind, probably moderate strength, so a little bit of a breeze there. But temperature-wise should be sort of fairly pleasant, sort of mildish evening. But it might be worth with a bit of breeze there, perhaps a little cool on the cooler side. So it might be worth taking a sort of jumper with you type thing. But it's looking pretty good, and that will sort of continue for Friday and the weekend there. With temperatures actually rising with a high pressure system over the Tasman Sea and winds turning more east to northeasterly. That'll be a warming trend then. So 26 for a maximum on Friday, mostly sunny conditions on Saturday, and 28. And then Sunday we've got 29 degrees. That's pretty warm for April. So it's looking interesting. We do have a chance of a shower on the forecast at this stage. That's looking like if it's going to be happening, it'll be later, and look, it's only a chance, so I think you can plan on most of Sunday being dry with just possibly a chance of a shower as you get into the later part of the day or even the evening there, so not too bad a day and certainly pretty warm. And there is a change then for Monday with not a lot of weather, but a shower or two is possible with a maximum of 23 degrees, and we're back at 21 next Tuesday with maybe still a shower or two, back to dry conditions for next Wednesday. And 23 degrees, guys.
Garden could do with a drink, Tom.
Well, had one a couple of days ago, but can always do with more, can't it? It dries out pretty quickly, doesn't it? So, we'll have to wait till early next week, and with the warmer conditions coming over the weekend, we'll be drying out again, that's for sure.
Good on you. Tom Bowick at the Bureau. 12 minutes to 7 now on 5AA Breakfast with Michael Smith and Tom Wren. Let's see what's been happening in terms of policing. Senior Constable Kylie Simpson is with us this morning. Hello, Kylie.
Good morning.
3 people arrested for aggravated robberies this morning.
That's right. They have been for 3 aggravated robberies, actually. It all started at 1:30 this morning. Police responded to a hold-up alarm at a service station on Marion Road at Mitchell Park. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered the store, threatened staff and stole cigarettes. 10 minutes later, while police were at the Mitchell Park service station, a second hold-up alarm was activated on South Road at St Mary's. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered the store, threatened staff before jumping the counter and punching the attendant. They left empty-handed. And then at 1:51am, so 9 minutes later, police responded to a third hold-up alarm. This one was on 5 Ash Drive. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered that store, threatened staff with a knife before jumping the counter and punching the operator. The teens stole cash and cigarettes. So 2 console operators sustained minor injuries. 1 requires medical treatment. Police dog Bandit and his handler were called in to assist. And while they were tracking in the area, they noticed a blue Nissan in a car park on Rossday Avenue at St Mary's. The car was searched and cash and cigarettes were located. So a man aged 33 of no fixed address and two 17-year-old boys, they were arrested and charged with 3 counts of aggravated robbery. So they've all been refused police bail and will appear in court today. So the cash and cigarettes were recovered and police have seized the car and they're making inquiries with the owner to find out if it's been stolen.
And Kylie, there's an incident unfolding as we speak, a current truck fire on the Dukes Highway.
That's right, a big double truck's on fire on the Dukes Highway. It's at Wasleys, about 10 kilometres from Bordertown. So it is affecting people travelling to Adelaide. So diversions are in place and the road is expected to be closed for several hours. But thankfully no one was injured and it's a non-suspicious fire, but a bit of a pain for people travelling to Adelaide this morning.
Good on you, Kylie Simpson at South Australian Police Media, 9 to 7 now on 5AA.
It's okay to want more, which is why more and more people choose Mawson Lakes Volkswagen to service their car, especially Volkswagen owners. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we offer state-of-the-art servicing, complimentary loan cars, next-day servicing, and breakfast or lunch is on us. Why? Because when you're Adelaide's newest Volkswagen dealer, you want to give more. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city. Visit mawsonlakesvw.com.au and book your service today.
Where can you get $4 drinks at 4 p.m, $5 drinks at 5 p.m, and $6 drinks at 6 p.m? Every single day. Sky City, where else? With happy hours including a selection of house beers, wines and spirits across selected bars, there's one place you can't go past. Sky City, where else? T's and C's apply. Enjoy responsibly.
Now, this is a serious issue for some women. If you need to go to the toilet all the time and it's making your life miserable, do you sometimes feel like your entire day revolves around your bladder? If that sounds like you, then Caruso's Wee Less may help. Caruso's Wee Less is a therapeutic bladder health supplement with a unique blend of herbs and magnesium. It helps relieve the annoying and inconvenient feeling that you need to go to the bathroom too often. It also supports bladder health and function and helps reduce the urinary incontinence and urgency associated with a medically diagnosed overactive bladder. So if you want help to control the urge and regain your bladder confidence, try Caruso's Wee Less today. It's made in Australia, comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health food stores. And as always, read the label and follow the directions of use. If symptoms persist, see your health professional.
Whether you're recovering from an illness or injury, or simply want to live a healthier and more active life, Southern Cross Care is here to help. Our health and wellness centres, located at Myrtle Bank, North Plympton and Largs Bay, offer group fitness classes, individual allied health services, health education sessions, plus more, to anyone aged 50 plus. For more information, call 1800 852 772 or visit southerncrosscare.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate to cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support this April.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Will Goodings and David Penberthy not here this morning. They both have the Rona. If you've just joined us, Michael Smith and Tom Wren. Today we're going to be talking to Michael Smith from Flashback in the next hour about 80s roller skating in Adelaide. Getting plenty of text on that already, Tom.
Loving the input that we've had from a lot of the listeners already, Michael. Leanne on the Facebook live stream says, my first roller skates were made of hard plastic when I was a little kid. As I got older, I had white boot skates and then speed skates. My friends and I skated at Mobbery. Loved the disco lights and music. I remember the ones I had. They had the stop at the front of the skate.
Yes.
To really slow you down. I'm trying to think how many wheels there were on your typical roller skate.
4 normally.
4
quads they're called. Yeah,
Quads.
I had blue roller skates with yellow stripes and a big yellow stopper on the front. But I was never very good at stopping using the skates. I used to use my arms to stop against the wall.
Yeah, or just lean in, and you could do that. That was okay.
The thing I remember most about downtown is they had a really cool DJ there and a big Linda Ronstadt poster. I think one of her album covers, she might have been wearing roller skates. So fond memories of going to downtown.
There you go. One more as well. Good morning, guys. I seem to recall a skating rink in the Renaissance Tower in Rundle Mall.
When that was first reopened and they put the glass lifts on the front, there was one up there called Spinners. And for some reason, I have a memory of going up there, and there was that musical youth song, Past the Duchy, which I think was meant having a reefer. Past the... I'm not going to sing it for you now on the wireless. But yes, there definitely was one up at Spinners, and there was a Spinners at Hindmarsh as well, but we're looking more closely at... flashbacks of 80s roller skating in Adelaide next hour. I was listening to Pants here on 5AA last night, and he had Greg Mackey on from the South Australian History Trust, because the History Festival is officially being launched tonight, and I've picked up one of the programs, which I think are going to be available from Foodland stores from tomorrow. Gee, there's a lot on. This is the month of May, basically. I think the official launch is right at the end of April with a debate involving some prominent people. But gee, the History Festival is exciting. So many different things you can do. A lot of buildings that are normally closed are open for inspection, and some really fascinating things to explore. One that caught my eye was there are a couple of auto tours that you can do in a bus, basically touring old Holden sites around Adelaide and exploring the Chrysler heritage. Of course, Mitsubishi, you remember being down at Tonsley and Clovelly Park for such a long time. I didn't realise until recently, though, that Chrysler was originally at the Lacornu site on Anzac Highway.
Is that right?
And if you drove past as they were pulling down the old Lacornu building, they sort of tore off the facade, and you could see the ghost signage of Chrysler in there. Now, that site's empty. I'm not sure what they're doing with it. It was going to be a big supermarket,
yes,
wasn't it?
Yes, that's right, yep.
So hopefully that's redeveloped. But it'd be interesting to do one of those Chrysler tours. Don Loeffler, the great historian that knows so much about Holden, is taking the Holden Heritage Bus Tour. But head into your local Foodland and pick up one of these South Australian History Festival programs. It really should run 365 days because there is so much to explore. All over the state. A lot of libraries and things are getting involved, regional centres too. Well worth checking out.
No question about that. Now, as we know, there's been a bit that's been happening globally, particularly in the Ukraine, Michael, and both the US and the UK are announcing new sanctions with Russia. Both the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and US President Joe Biden spoke a little earlier.
When you look at what's happening in Bucha, the revelations that we're seeing from what Putin has done in Ukraine, which doesn't look far short of genocide, to me, it is no wonder that people are responding in the way that they are. And I have no doubt that the international community, Britain very much in the front rank, will be moving again in lockstep to impose more sanctions and more penalties on Vladimir Putin's regime.
So there is Boris Johnson, the UK Prime Minister. Let's have a listen to Joe Biden now, the US President.
There's nothing less happening than major war crimes. Responsible nations have to come together to hold these perpetrators accountable. And together with our allies and our partners, we're going to keep raising the economic cost and ratchet up the pain for Putin and further increase Russia's economic isolation.
So there are the two leaders from the UK and also the US President Joe Biden speaking about the events that are happening at the moment. It's a fairly torrid affair, isn't it? And we see the pictures every day, Michael. I've never seen one as visual, or not for a long time, certainly. It's been an extraordinary set of circumstances that's unfolded over the past few weeks.
I saw an excellent piece that Channel 7's Hugh Whitfield did of one of those massive Antonov planes that I occasionally visit Adelaide. I think they have about 12 engines. It's been to Adelaide Airport a couple of times, just absolutely destroyed. It's a shame they couldn't get that sort of infrastructure out of the country, but I guess it all happened so rapidly. An extraordinary situation, and no doubt more international sanctions will apply as time goes by. 0488 08 30 95 is our text line number. Among the new sanctions, the Russian President Vladimir Putin's inner circle, including his two adult daughters and relatives of the US Foreign Minister, have been imposed by the US. The UK will end all dependency on Russian coal and oil by the end of the year, and frozen assets of Russia's largest bank, taking in the cooperation with the United States as well. So making that increasingly difficult for them to operate, but seemingly not having an impact at this stage.
Well, that's it. It appears as though Vladimir Putin is happy just to run his country and its people into the ground, which is going to be devastating for them. But we'll wait and see whether or not that squeeze, I suppose, has an impact on his dictatorship leading forward or moving forward.
1 minute to 7. Michael Smith and Tom Wren in for Will and David, who are both out with the Rona. If you just joined us, Bob's given us a buzz from Cheltenham. G'day, Bob.
G'day, guys. Question arises that if a lot of the countries now are sending back their ambassadors and all the people from the embassies, and what they're seeing on the television sets and the news services about what's happening in Ukraine versus the Russian ambassador saying that there is none of this happening, I wonder how they're going to sort of explain it back in Moscow when they arrive back, and will they be allowed to sort of talk what they've seen and they know is the real truth?
Bob, appreciate your call. 8223 if you would like to join us. Tom Wren, thank you for holding my snorkel in the deep end.
You dominated, absolutely dominated. You've got the lovely Jade Robran coming in for the next 2 hours, so she will be here just to guide you through for the next couple of hours.
Good on you, Rennie. Jade's next. Time for the news now, though. Here's Mel.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 24 today with the 7 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Had a bingle driving to work? Contact FIVEAA Panel Services at premierpanel.com.au.
Arrests have been made following a crime spree south of the city. Just after 1:30 this morning, a service station at Mitchell Park was held up and cigarettes stolen. 10 minutes later, a servo was hit at St Mary's. The attendant was punched but nothing stolen. A third service station was targeted just before 2. This time on 5 Ash Drive at Pasadena, cash and cigarettes were taken. 2 console operators sustained minor injuries and 1 needed medical treatment. Senior Constable Kylie Simpson says they caught up with the alleged offenders in a car nearby.
A man aged 33 of no fixed address and 2 17-year-old boys. They were arrested and charged with 3 counts of aggravated robbery, so they've all been refused police bail and will appear in court today.
10 public schools across the state won't open today as COVID decimates their staff. That includes Roma Mitchell Secondary College, Parafield Gardens High and Brighton. We recorded a record number of cases in SA yesterday, 5,784. And the World Health Organisation is monitoring another COVID-19 subvariant. XE is related to Omicron and thought to be 10% more transmissible. Infectious disease epidemiologist with the WHO, Maria Van Kerkhove, says people around the world need to continue taking measures to curb the spread of the virus.
This virus is still with us. It's circulating at a really intense level. And we need to use all of the tools that we have at our disposal. These tools are vaccines and, more importantly, vaccination. And we need to also follow other measures. Physical distancing, wearing of a mask, avoiding crowded spaces.
After a 2-year hiatus, crowds will be officially welcomed back to Anzac Day services across Adelaide later this month. Numbers at dawn services and marches will not be restricted. The RSL's Keith Harrison says it's fantastic news.
I think it's great for people's morale. They really do want to pay their respects to the fallen and those who are served, and especially to those who are still serving.
Scientists in the US say they found the first dinosaur fossil from the day an asteroid hit the Earth, causing a mass extinction. The preserved limb, complete with skin, has been uncovered among other animal remains at a site in North Dakota. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Footy First and Port Adelaide have made one change to their lineup ahead of tonight's clash against the Demons at Adelaide Oval. Tom Cleary returns to the side, replacing Sam Skinner. Jake Lever is in for Melbourne. Joel Smith has been omitted, and you can hear the game live on 5AA. Well, Crow Taylor Walker will make his return this weekend against Essendon, free from a 6-match suspension for a racial slur. Assistant coach Nathan Van Berlo says he brings a lot of experience to the group.
He's a past skipper of the club. He's leading goal kicker in the club's history and has an aura about him that will help us experience-wise, and he no doubt takes the number 1 defender from the opposition team too, which helps out Himmelberg and Galan and the rest of the small forwards around him.
In the A-League, Socceroo Matthew Leckie scored a double for Melbourne City in their 4-0 win over Sydney FC, while Melbourne Victory defeated Perth 1-0. In the Champions League quarter-finals, Real Madrid defeated Chelsea 3-1. Villarreal had a 1-0 win over Bayern Munich. They're the first team to beat Bayern in the league this season. The shirt Diego Maradona wore when he scored his Hand of God goal is up for auction. Former England player Steve Hodge has been holding on to it since swapping shirts with Maradona after Argentina won the match. It's expected to sell for around $8 million. And the 86th US Masters gets underway tonight, our time. That's sport. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Win an incredible Henley Beach home plus $1 million cash in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery.
At Para Hills, look out for a smash this morning. McIntyre Road at Bridge Road. Got works at West Hindmarsh. Drainage works on Port Road near South Road. It's as you're heading outbound, got one lane closed. Speeds at 40 k's. And we're slow going this morning at Darlington. Works continue on the Flagstaff Road upgrade. Near the South Road intersection does get pretty slow throughout the morning. A few cameras around today too. Eastern Parade, Otway, Hanson Road, Winkfield, Trimmer Parade at Seaton. What's better than one sausage roll? How about two? Head into OTR for 2 sausage rolls for $5. Yes, 2 for only $5. OTR, making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
When glass breaks, call the experts at O'Brien.
O'Brien. Partly cloudy, 24 today, mostly sunny tomorrow, 26. Then Saturday, sunny and 28 degrees. Right now it's 15. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Help create a home for South Australians impacted by cancer. Visit 202greenhill.com.au.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
7:06 on 5AA. Neither David or Will are here this morning. Michael Smith in for Will. Rennie was here an hour ago. He got sick of working with me. He's left me in the deep end. But look who's joined me in the pool. Jade Robran, thank you for coming in.
Good morning. How fun is this? Musical chairs. I haven't played since I was about 5. So, hey, welcome to the program.
As long as the music keeps going, we're okay. This is
will.
An earlier start than normal for you.
I know. And I don't normally get up early, I have to say, but I was actually feeling a little bit ill yesterday.
Oh, no.
I know. So I went to bed at about 8 o'clock last night. So I was up bright and early at about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and the messages started coming through from the boss. Hey, call me ASAP, quick. And I haven't had COVID, so I thought, well, why not? Why not get it? Why not come into work to 5AA?
Well, I thought exactly the same thing. As I was saying to Reddy before, I went to the GP a couple of days ago. He said, you haven't had COVID yet. It's gone through Channel 7 like a dose of salt. I thought, I know what, I'll go into 5AA.
Yeah,
and I'll get it there.
I'll
get it there.
Yeah, why not? Well, everyone else has got it. I think every single show is affected except for my afternoons program, which that ends today. Oh, that's okay. We keep firing, don't we? That's the beauty of radio. You just get behind the mic and you just keep on chugging.
A lot of people are being affected. Of course, about 11 schools are closed at the moment, so a lot of parents would be homeschooling, a lot of teachers out.
Oh, don't mention that word.
Closed contacts,
I did
online
homeschooling
learning.
for 6 months.
On Melbourne, of course.
Yes, we were stuck in Melbourne, for those that don't know, and whenever I hear homeschooling, a shudder just comes over my whole body, because 6 months of homeschooling is just awful. My son got COVID in the school holidays, so we had a week, and then obviously you got to stay at home for the extra, the 14 days back then, and it's just not fun. So my thoughts are with all those parents out there. It's hundreds, it's thousands of people that are affected by this. I feel like these close contact rules, they need a change.
And all too often you're at home for a week, isolating as a close contact, and then of course day 6, day 7 you get it yourself, so you reset the clock. It's comedy capers, and it's fortunate that some people are able to work from home, but not everybody can, and particularly if you're a casual worker and you're losing out on income, it's really tough.
Absolutely. Well, Pembo, I think he's about up to his 15th stay-at-home orders,
So
and
you're
now
telling
he's
me
finally got it.
You don't get frequent fly points for regularly isolating. And Paul Will, to explain what happened, if you weren't listening earlier, I got a buzz on the way home from Channel 7 last night. The boss here at AA said, bad news, Will's come down with the Rona. Would you like to come in? I said, oh, fantastic. Love coming into AA. 5:10 this morning.
The other guy's
out with it
down.
as well.
I'm so surprised though. He's been locked at home, like I said, for about 1 million days with his family. I think it's, in all seriousness, I think this is his third or fourth lockdown, and how he hasn't got it is quite unbelievable. I think we share a similar hobby of enjoying a nice glass of red wine each night. I feel that's fending it off for me. That's my theory. But we spoke about this new variant called XE on the show the other day, and, you know, it feels like at the moment, oh, another day, another variant. Hello. Well, this is a sub-variant of BA1 and BA2, which is a sub-variant of Omicron. So it just keeps multiplying. And I spoke to Professor Esterman, and he basically said to me, Jade, BA1 and BA2 have had special cuddles, and that special cuddles has resulted in a baby, and we've called the baby XE.
The devil.
The devil baby, the devil child that won't sleep and will do nothing that it's told. It is highly contagious, like the others. Possibly 10% more contagious than BA2. Similar symptoms, so you get your aches and pains, your headaches. A lot of people have actually been complaining of sore arms, and you know, I had a guest on the show yesterday, and he said I had shooting back pain, and then started to get numbness in my hands. So all these different symptoms are presenting in all various ways. But look, they're preparing for another 2. The World Health Organization have said that they've got an eye on another 2 variants. So look, this thing it's a prick of a thing. We know that. We'd love to kick it out the door. It ain't going anywhere.
Interestingly, infectious diseases expert and epidemiologist with the World Health Organization, Maria Van Kerkhove, says that people around the world continue to take measures to curb the spread, but this is a nasty one.
This virus is still with us. It's circulating at a really intense level. And we need to use all of the tools that we have at our disposal. These tools are vaccines and, more importantly, vaccination. And we need to also follow other measures. Physical distancing, wearing of a mask, avoiding crowded spaces.
I had Dr. Karl Kruszelnicki on the show yesterday, and we were talking not about COVID. It was actually whether you flush the toilet with the lid down or the lid up. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation for another moment. But we digressed into hand sanitizer, and he just said to us, you know, that is possibly, that and wearing masks is the most, you know, the best way to fight off this thing. I mean, you look at flu numbers. We had thousands and thousands of cases in the last 2 years. They've been
a handful, really.
Just a handful. Well, the first year COVID hit, there was, I think, a couple of hundred. The second year we were in the pandemic, there really literally was only a handful and no deaths. So it goes to show how quite disgusting us humans really are, isn't it, really, when we, you know, stop coughing and spluttering on each other and we wash our hands. So I think if we continue doing that, we'll be okay.
Do you flush the lid down, by the way?
1,000%, because I know what happens when fetus
Yeah, hang on. People are eating breakfast. Jade, stop. Pull up.
That's what he called them.
No, stop. We don't just talk about that at breakfast time. It's 7:12. Ed Sheeran's back in the news too.
Yeah. So David and Will spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. So Ed Sheeran won a copyright case over his 2017 hit Shape of You, which is a fantastic song. He co-wrote it with Snow Patrol. It was a massive, massive hit. Well, there was another gentleman that said, well, hang on a minute, this sounds very similar to a song that I wrote. Let's take a listen to it and let's see how familiar it is. This is the other guy, and this is Ed Sheeran's version. I'm in love. That was bang on, dead similar. This one, I'm Team Ed Sheeran here. I think he's okay. Anyway, he won the copyright case over this, so he's a free man. He's free to play it, no penalties. Doesn't have to fork out millions of dollars to this poor sod who's probably thinking, this is my chance. This is my chance to crack it, Rich.
And he's coming back to Adelaide next year, playing at the Oval in March, which is fantastic. Anyone who went to the last Ed Sheeran concert said it was amazing.
I've never been.
Haven't you?
No, never seen him live.
He's a good performer.
Mind you, I don't even know the last time I went to a live concert. What was your last live concert?
Oh, I think it was David Penberthy and Cerveza in Putas in 1992. No. Robbie Williams, I reckon, was probably the last one.
He is a good entertainer.
He's fantastic.
Yes.
And if you got to that concert that he did at Footy Park in 2006, he was electric, incredible showmanship, so charismatic, and his music's fantastic.
Actually, I lie. At Christmas time, we had a FIVEAA Christmas concert where I
Cornsey
saw
and the Rock and Roll All-Stars?
1,000%.
Cornsey's good.
He's fantastic.
He played with Andrew Hayes at the Channel 7 Christmas party one
He's
year.
very
They're good. He's good.
Yeah, he can move it like Mick Jagger. That's
Did you
for
get
sure.
up there? Does Rennie get up with his trumpet and have a...
No,
Right.
but Rowie did. So Rowie's been taking lessons for the bugle, isn't it? I believe, and so he'll walk in probably once a week practicing. So I'll be, prepping for my
Oh, that wouldn't be
afternoon
annoying
show.
at all, would it?
And then in comes because he wants to play at Anzac Day.
Yes.
That's the aim. So I think he's given himself 20 or 30 years. So not long to learn the last post. He'll get there, I'm sure.
I when it comes to wind instruments, I didn't get beyond London's Burning on the recorder at school. Did you remember playing that? London's Burning, London, yeah.
I played
Torture.
the piano and
Did you?
Sesame Street. I taught myself how to play Sesame Street, and that's as good as it got.
What, the opening theme to Sesame?
Dun, 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 dun. That's about it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Adelaide's answer
I'm
to
no
Elton
Ed
John.
Sheeran, don't get me wrong, but hey, if I practiced a little bit longer,
He plays
you never
guitar,
know.
doesn't he? 14 past 7, Michael Smith and Jade Robran in for Will and Dave. If you just joined us, they're both out with the Rona. This is coming to you live from the FIVEAA Petri Dish in Hindmarsh Square.
The 5AA live stream gives you a seat in the studio each morning with David and Will for breakfast, and also each afternoon with Jade Robran, followed by Rowie's Sports Show.
Love it.
To watch, simply head to the 5AA live stream on Facebook, YouTube, or at 5AA.com.au. Brought to you by Cancer Council SA. Help create a home for South Australians impacted by cancer. Visit 202greenhill.com.au.
Thanks Frydenberg and ScoMo for the $250. That works out to $1.60 a week over the next 3 years. Tell them they're dreaming. Vote 1 United Australia Party. Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, we have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easy for property investors and the tenants of their properties. Everyone is treated with integrity and respect. That's the Lynn Andrews way. For commercial and residential property management, we are here to help. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Good schnitzels are everywhere, but it's hard to find a schnitzel so big, crunchy and tasty. Survivors have warned, whatever you do, don't eat the day before. St Kilda Beach Hotel schnitzels are cut by the resident butcher. They're rolled in the crispiest crumbs, then deep fried to perfection, all in-house. Take the kids to St Kilda Playground, then cross the road to the St Kilda Hotel for the schnitzel of a lifetime. There's a table waiting for you at the St Kilda Beach Hotel.
Have you been itching to help out? Now you can. CMAX are trialling a potential skin treatment and need your help. If you are aged 18 to 55 and don't have atopic dermatitis, you may be eligible to participate. Not only will you help make a difference, but all eligible participants will get reimbursed for their time. Visit cmax.com.au and search for CM7721. That's cmax.com.au. CM7721.
For over 38 years, Steinborner Automotive has always been well worth a trip. And right now, Steinborners are the place to go for top dollar on your trade-in. They will do any trade, and this month they are offering a further $1,500 bonus on all trade-ins. So go out to one of Steinborner's 8 locations for Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Ford and SA's best range of used cars. View all their used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth a trip.
We're for greater footy every day. Enjoy all your footy news with digital access to The Advertiser for just $1 for the first 28 days. Subscribe today. Search The Advertiser offer. Conditions apply.
We don't just say we're local. We are local. 9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate to cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support this April.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Michael Smith and Jade Robran at 18 past 7. Will and Dave both out with coronavirus, sadly. We hope they're sleeping in and not listening to this
and we
comedy.
can go on together, can't we?
And on, one step at a time. 24 degrees in Adelaide today. It's going to be partly cloudy. Let's have a check of the weather now. You can win an incredible Henley Beach home plus $1 million in cash in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery.
At Para Hill, smash on McIntyre Road at Bridge Road, West Hindmarsh. Drainage works on Port Road near South Road, heading outbound. One lane closed, speeds at 40. And McDonald Park intersection upgrade works there. Heathcliff Road near Curtis Road. That's affecting both directions. Cameras look out for this morning. Dyson Road, Christie's Beach. Jetty Road, Largs Bay. And Victoria Road at North Haven. Today is Telstra Day. Hurry in for unreal deals on a range of phones, accessories and more. Don't miss it. Today only. Shop Telstra in-store or online now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Thank you, Traffic Guy, and don't forget to tune into 5AA this Saturday as we call the AFLW Grand Final. The Crows up against the Melbourne Demons at Adelaide Oval. You can hear the call with David Wilde and Jenny Williams this Saturday from midday here on Adelaide's 5AA.
That is going to be an absolute cracker. These girls, they're fit, fabulous, and I hope they win by 100 points. Go you Crows.
And only $10 to get in too.
And under 18 is free, of course. We've got to get a big crowd there. We've had pretty dismal crowds at Adelaide Oval since, the AFL season has opened, and understandably so. I know that a lot of people are wanting to, stay at home. COVID, is still a little bit, wary about going out, but it's going to be a beautiful day. I think kickoff's around the midday mark. Free transport to get in.
Yeah, that's a good idea, isn't it?
No excuses. We've got to get, I'm hoping we get around 40,000. I reckon that would be absolutely sensational to cheer the girls across the line. We were just talking about Ed Sheeran and good concerts that we've been to. We'd love to hear from you. What is the best ever concert that you've been to? You can text us on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line 0448 08 1395. But we would love to hear from you. I'm going to come up with some sort of prize. We'll figure it out as we go along, because that's kind of what today's all about. So call in 8223 0000. But we have got, nothing pairs with 88, like a $100 Celador voucher giveaway from Gomersul wines from the Barossa Valley. They are beautiful, good heavy body Shiraz. We've got a caller that's come through. No, we haven't. No, I'm getting the yes, we do. No, we don't. So call us 8223 0000. What is the best concert you've ever been to? Now, Rowie had an interesting chat with Lee Matthews on the Sports Show last night. Let's take a listen.
The fallout is there's a small minority of Port supporters that have got Ken Hinkley in the gun and they want him out. These same people that are texting us saying it's my fault when I so dare put my arms around a coach that's done a bloody good job. He's got a 60% win-loss, who lost a showdown because one of his stars couldn't kick a goal, but it's his fault, Lee. As you know, it's not, but it is. It's his fault. Ken has to go. I mean, honestly, give me some levity for it, please.
Well, it's like the coach's curse. The coach's curse is the buck stops with the senior coach. Like, as we know, the last 5 or 10 minutes of the game, there's very little that Ken can do. He's sitting up in this grandstand almost with the fans. And Travis Spoke missed the goal, and then, of course, they earned a couple of goals and then got the one after the siren from Jordan Dawson. So, I mean, it's funny, isn't it, how the buck always stops with the coach. I bet you there's more criticism for Ken than Travis Spoke, who just missed the shot at goal.
There is.
Isn't it? It's ridiculous. Yeah. But, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised because it always hits me. I mean, the showdown is obviously the ultimate in like passion for your two teams playing each other. And a couple of things have happened over the last week. I don't profess to understand. I don't know about you, but when I go to the footy, I'm a watcher. I'm not a barracker, right? But I respect, I admire people who barrack and really get into it. To be honest, I wouldn't mind being like that. But that passionate barracker is the kind of mentality at the footy in a way that every now and again it like turned into a mob mentality kind of thing that occasionally kind of turns feral. Now, nothing probably happened over the fence, but I put the booing of Joel Selwood under that category. Like, he does a couple of things that the fans don't like. He's wearing the opposition jumper, and these people are booing the football player, not the man.
Lee Matthews and Rowie there. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because Port Adelaide fans, they are so passionate. One of the most passionate groups of supporters I've ever been to. And I love just that, the song, the energy before a game. And they're playing, of course, against Melbourne tonight. Never before have they had to fight for their season like they will tonight. And I reckon they'll stand up. I mean, taking on the reigning premiers. Melbourne hasn't dropped a game team this season. Come on, Port fans, you got to get behind your team. Don't boo him, don't walk out. Ken Hinkley, he's fantastic. He's got a great record.
Certainly take the pressure off him tonight if they get a win on the board.
They do. They definitely need to. Interesting hearing Lee Matthews there. Doesn't surprise me, but he says, I'm a watcher. I'm not a passionate supporter. When you're at the footy, are you a screamer?
You've got to get into the mood. After a few tinnies, especially, and a $25 pie at the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You got to mortgage your house to feed your family.
Yeah. Rose, thanks to North Point Toyota. Book your service online at North Point Toyota. To win back the cost, it's the North Point way.
We've got a couple of calls that have come through. We put the shout out, the best concert that you've ever been to, and the all callers today will go into the running to win a Celador voucher. We're giving away a $100 voucher from Gomersall Wines in the Barossa Valley. Let's go to Mark in Para Hills. Hey Mark, how you going?
Pretty good, thanks.
What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Pink Floyd, FIVEAA Oval, February 1988.
Oh, nice.
Was it a special bicentennial gig or something, Mark, was it?
No, that was part of their Momentary Lapse of Reason tour.
Why was it so
tour.
good? Why do you remember it so fondly?
Oh, they played in quadraphonic.
Wow.
We had the flying beds. We had the flying pig. And for Comfortably Numb, towards the end of the show, there was just this giant mirror ball in the middle of the oval.
Wow. Were you feeling comfortably numb by that point?
Yeah, well, very.
Good on you, Mark.
That sounds like a 70s kind of vibe.
Yeah, I'd love to have seen Pink Floyd. 82230000 if you would like to join us. Jane's given us a buzz from the Barossa Valley, as I like to call it. Hello, Jane.
Hi, good morning there. I saw legend Simon and Garfunkel at Wembley in 1979, and in the days before phones, where you turn your torch on, everyone smoked in those days. So when they were playing Sounds of Silence at the end, everyone lit their lighters, and it was just the most magical sight,
Wow.
seeing everybody with their lighters. And yeah, such a privilege to see legends of certainly my time in real life.
Your concert at the old Wembley would have been sensational. I immediately think of Live Aid, of course, but there would have been a full house for Simon and Garfunkel, I imagine.
Absolutely, Chuck. I don't know how many, 60, 70,000, I don't know.
Good on you, Jane. Thank you. One on the text line here, Rita at Campbelltown. Two favourite concerts. Definitely the first, 1997, the Kiss reunion tour. She went with her dad, and U2 with B.B. King. I reckon that was Memorial Drive, When Love Comes to Town. That would have been a great gig too.
Let's talk to Louisa. Hi, Louisa.
Hi.
What's your best concert?
We went to see Queen, I think it was last October, at the Adelaide Oval. We weren't sure we were going because we got stuck with that ticket at go-go, whatever they were called. So it was touch and go with the fake ticket source.
Oh, but they let you in?
Well, we did buy them, yeah. It cost us over quite a few $100. And, finally we got there and they said, just go and hope you get in.
Thanks, Louisa. I think they had a very small window of opportunity between COVID last year when Queen came to town. Mark from Albert Park, good morning.
Good morning. Mine was Elton John and the Melbourne Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was that good? That was Footy Park?
Well, this is a twist to this one because I was living on a farm in Gympie with my mum and dad, and they were away. And I raced home from the pub on Friday night, said to all my mates, see you later, I'm out of here, I'm going to a private concert. And went home, I had the TV on and the radio on in the lounge room, all the radios, and we lived nowhere near anybody, so everything was full bore. And I had the dogs up in the lounge room with me and my bottle of red, and we sat and watched the Elton John concert all on my own. It was fantastic.
Yeah, they simulcast that too, I reckon, in the old days, didn't they?
They did, yes. This was live from Melbourne.
Good on you. Thanks, Mark. Now, what do you reckon of those calls, Jade?
I loved Jane's story, but I feel like she lives in the Barossa Valley, so could access wine any second of the day.
Yeah, it's true, though. I like the idea of Mark being uncomfortably numb at FIVEAA Oval at the Pink Floyd concert.
Mark from Para Hills, congratulations. You have won a $100 gift voucher from Celador, from Gomersall Wines, Barossa Valley. We're going to take a really short break. You're listening to Adelaide's FIVEAA with Mike and Jade.
Hey, it's Callum here. It's not by chance that Edwardstown Mazda is located bang on South Road. They wanted to make it easy to get your car serviced. Any make or model. Make a pit stop at Edwardstown Mazda.
It's gotta be
edwardstownmazda.com.au.
Fresh nuts, mouth-watering chocolates and eye-popping Easter gifts.
G'day, I'm Brett Charlesworth, and there are 3 irresistible reasons to include Charlesworth nuts on your Easter shopping list. If you're a connoisseur looking for the absolute best and freshest nuts and can taste the difference, then give us a try. Share them with your guests or give a Charlesworth Easter gift and watch their eyes light up. 11 family-owned South Aussie stores, or shop online right now and get it delivered. Why Charlesworth? Because fresh nuts taste better.
To stand the test of time and be adored by all, you need to be tough. Made of the good stuff, you need style and tons of character, like a Playford paver.
Playford Pavers, one of the few companies that still make their own pavers for driveways, outdoor entertaining areas and paths, all in a great range of colours and textures. And because Playford Pavers make their own, you'll pay less.
So if you're on a budget and you don't want to compromise on quality and range, Playford Pavers are definitely the people you should be talking to, because you're buying direct from the manufacturer.
Playford Pavers will also deliver for free in the metro area for orders over a certain square meterage. They also have everything you need to build retaining walls.
So jump online and take a look. Visit playfordpavers.com.au.
Next time you buy seafood from the deli section of your supermarket, ask them if they know who caught it. Oh wait, sorry, you can't, because they won't know. Unlike Kirkbride Seafood, they won't have the contact details of the person who caught it, what time it was caught, or where it was caught. I mean, you'd have to care a hell of a lot to go to those sorts of lengths. Lucky for you, Kirkbride Seafood do. Doothie Street, Unley. kirkbrideseafood.com.au.
It's not often you get to go behind the scenes of one of Adelaide's top home builders. Well, at Beechwood Homes, you can. The stunning Beechwood display home at Blackwood Park has just been sold, but that doesn't mean you miss out. Call Steve from Beechwood and he'll take you behind the scenes of other Beechwood masterpieces currently under construction. You'll get an incredible insight into what makes Beechwood Homes an SA favourite. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
How do you know if the milk you're buying is local? Easy. Just look for 3 words. FIVEAA Milk Company. If the bottle you pick up has those 3 words on it, FIVEAA Milk Company, it's guaranteed to be local. It's guaranteed to be fresh too. And the big plus, you're supporting SA dairy farmers, and for that, we're forever grateful. 3 words. FIVEAA Milk Company. South Australian and proud of it.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 24 today with the 7:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Had a bingle driving to work? Contact premierpanel.com.au. RAA approved crash repairer.
3 service stations were targeted overnight with cash and cigarettes stolen. Just after 1:30am, an outlet at Mitchell Park was hit. 10 minutes later, it was a servo at St Mary's. Senior Constable Kylie Simpson says the third robbery was only 1 suburb over.
And then at 1:51am, police responded to a third hold-up alarm. This one was on 5 Ash Drive. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered that store, threatened staff with a knife before jumping the counter and punching the operator. The teens stole cash and cigarettes.
2 console operators sustained minor injuries. A car was located nearby and 3 arrests made. A 33-year-old man of no fixed address and 2 17-year-old boys have been charged and will front court today. COVID has forced thousands of local students to revert to remote learning. 10 public schools in SA are now closed as the virus affects staffing numbers. Schools include Playford International College, Brighton Secondary and Paralowie Reception to Year 12. The daily case numbers yesterday were a record 5,784. A pensioner has unleashed on the Prime Minister at a pub in Newcastle. Scott Morrison was meeting locals at the Edgeworth Tavern when the man took him to task over a lack of funding for older Australians.
I've worked all my life, right, and paid my taxes. You better do something. I don't care. I'm sick of you.
Labor is calling on the federal government to expel Russian diplomats from Australia in the wake of its invasion of Ukraine. Michael Packy reports.
The Morrison government has imposed economic sanctions and travel bans on Russian individuals and entities, but the country's diplomats remain in Australia. A number of European nations have already expelled more than 200 Russian officials, and Labor believes it's about time we follow suit. The opposition says there's no excuse given the sickening abuses being carried out by Russian forces in Ukraine. Labor argues the only person that should remain in Australia is the Russian ambassador, so there's still a line of communication with Moscow.
Singer-songwriter Ed Sheeran has won a lawsuit accusing him of plagiarising a song. He says it highlights how similar music can be.
It's really damaging to the songwriting industry. There's only so many notes and very few chords used in pop music. Coincidence is bound to happen if 60,000 songs are being released every day on Spotify. There's 22 million songs a year, and there's only 12 notes that are available.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
It's game day for Port Adelaide. They face Melbourne at Adelaide Oval tonight, looking for their first win of the season. Key defender Tom Cleary returns to the side at the expense of Sam Skinner. Coach Ken Hinkley says they're looking to turn things around against the reigning premiers.
We're not frightened by their names. We understand and respect their results. We have great faith in the people that we have around the ball too, that they'll give us a really even look at the ball when we get a chance to play, and Melbourne's midfield will be doing the same thing for them.
The Crows have Taylor Walker back to face Essendon on Sunday. Darcy Fogarty has been dropped. And COVID is impacting the Bombers, with coach Ben Rutten to miss round 4 after being forced into isolation as a close contact. Collingwood vice-captain Taylor Adams will miss Saturday's game against West Coast after testing positive to COVID. Perth Glory have recorded their 11th loss of the season, going down to the Melbourne Victory 1-0. It means they remain 6 points adrift on the bottom of the A-League ladder. And after being called off at the 11th hour in 2020, the Australian Grand Prix returns to Melbourne today, with fans expected to flock to Albert Park. That's 5AA Sport, now checking traffic.
Get your tickets today for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery's biggest ever $4 million grand prize.
Roads working well this morning. Shouldn't have too many hassles for the drive-in. Simply some roadworks to look out for. West Hindmarsh, drainage works on Port Road near South Road. It says you're heading outbound, but lane close, speeds at 40. Ovingham works on Torrens Road continue near Park Terrace. That's affecting both directions. And Darlington slow going at the moment. That's for those works on Flagstaff Road upgrade near the South Road intersection. Cameras this morning, the Esplanade Seaford Trimmer Parade Seaton. Win a trip to the Harriscarf Celebrity Chef Kitchen and the Good Food and Wine Show in Sydney, Melbourne or Brisbane, thanks to Harriscarf. Head to harriscarf.com.au to find out more. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
When glass breaks, call the experts at O'Brien.
O'Brien. Partly cloudy, 24 for your Thursday, mostly sunny tomorrow, 26, and then sunny and 28 on Saturday. Right now it's 16 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Here comes the sun.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate to cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support this April.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Don't want to say that's false advertising, but it is this morning. Michael Smith and Jade Robran in for Will and Dave, who are both down with the Rona, dear listener.
Mm-hmm.
I've climbed into the radio. I normally listen to this show every morning.
So do I.
And this is one of my favourite segments, thanks to our very good friends at Mitre 10, your local Mitre 10. Friendly service, expert advice, quality brands at great prices. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10. Matthew Abraham. Hello there, champ.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Jade.
Good morning to you. Well, let's kick it off with Mr. Malinauskas in Canberra. Was that a successful trip?
Well, I think so. I mean, I think he'd think it was. And I think it was quite funny watching the audience at the press club, who all seemed besotted by, I'm talking men and women here, by the appearance of Peter Malinauskas in their midst, because he does actually, when you see him on a national stage like that, he does sort of stand out. Both in his, he's tall.
I thought the lectern was a little bit low. He was stooping during his speech. Did you notice that?
I don't normally suffer from that problem. I normally need
Me either.
a Coke crate to stand on. But yeah, it was. He was sort of stooping down. I thought they could have fixed that up, but I've talked to Laura Tingle about that. But yeah, he does have a presence. And as you know, I've tipped him as a future Prime Minister in switching to Canberra.
He's ruled that out, though, hasn't he?
Not really.
No.
So. Oh, well,
for
don't
now.
don't worry about that.
Right.
So 2032, I think it'd probably be appropriate after their third election win.
Right.
I'm just painting this scenario. I'm just painting this
I'm going
scenario.
to go down to Hollywood Sid and put some money on this, straight from Matthew Abraham's mouth. Yes.
But no, I think it's interesting. I think he probably had a sort of a pricklier presence in the national stage than Stephen Marshall. Stephen Marshall's approach was, all the way with ScoMo, and it didn't serve him well, particularly during the handling of the pandemic. So. There's Malinowskis not just talking about parochial issues, but as you were saying, Jade, talking about immigration, talking about need that lift that up, and GST share, lots of things, sort of a national perspective. And I think a lot of people found that pretty interesting coming from a state leader.
Well, it makes sense that because of course a lot of state leaders would go and be fairly parochial, fairly myopic when it comes to the issues particularly affecting their electorates. But he's taken a much broader approach to all of this and raised general cost of living issues, petrol, other things. Interesting that he's suggesting we should take more refugees in South Australia.
Yeah, exactly. And why not? Probably need our population boosted. There's a huge need of a humanitarian intake from Ukraine, and you'd think this country could do more than we are doing. It's interesting that the Liberal Party put out a statement from a spokesperson. We don't know who it was. I assume there's somebody left in the wreckage of the Liberal Party. So it wasn't identified. It wasn't, on behalf of, the temporary leader or whoever.
Who's the temporary leader? Does anyone know?
Stephen Marshall's still there.
Has anyone seen him since election night? I think he was spotted in Sydney, wasn't he?
Yes, he was spotted. I thought schmoozing in either Sydney or Canberra. When I say schmoozing, having constructive talks.
But it was a curious statement, though, because it was basically suggesting that Peter Malinowskis was in Canberra, building his profile or grandstanding, while we had more pressing pandemic issues to deal with back here.
It was, and I thought that's a bit funny, given that the big criticism and probably failing, as it was seen by the electorate of Stephen Marshall, was that for 2 years he wasn't running the pandemic. He had delegated that to Professor Nicholas Spurrier and Police Commissioner Grant Stevens. So it was a bit rich, I think, for the Liberal Party spokesperson, whoever they are, to come out and say that the new Premier couldn't be out of the state for a day in case it would collapse.
Yeah, cheap, I think.
In terms of the optics of all of this, I'm intrigued by Peter Malinowskis' use of social media. Early in the day, he'd gone for a run around Canberra and tweeted this sort of post-run selfie video. Is that going to be a regular thing, do you think, Matt? How effective is that?
I think it might be. He's done a few. He did one from home, and speaking in a very softly, sort of natural way. I think he'll keep using it. I have to admit, I'm not on TikTok.
I think it's really smart.
I thought TikTok was a biscuit. That's how old I am.
Oh, listen to the language, the vibe. I think he's really smart reaching out because it's generated with a younger voter, and that's really where his whole campaign started, wasn't it? Was through social media channels. Yeah,
it's a very powerful way of connecting. You get longer, like as we know, the TV is a very brutal medium. Most TV news stories are about 60 seconds tops. So
well, that's right. He can control the narrative.
That's right. He gets 2 minutes. He's talking. He's in his running gear. Fortunately, he didn't take his top off and leap into Lake Burley. but we're all waiting. Yeah, what are you going to do here?
Well, that'll get him more followers, won't it?
Well, exactly. It's interesting too. He's had a crack. I noticed in the Advertiser this morning at Nick Xenophon, who's of course running yet again for the Senate, and saying that people are tired of the stunts. And I thought, wait a minute, you took your top off and jumped into a swimming pool at the start of an election campaign, but
kettle,
people don't
black,
like stunts.
Speaking of Nick Xenophon and the federal scene, just briefly, the interesting polling out from the Australia Institute in relation to Boothby, which we've always known has been a marginal seat, but Sturt now seriously in play as well. Are you surprised by that?
Not totally. I think the state election poses big problems for if the figures of the state election. If you've got a piece of tracing paper. You remember that, children? If you've got a piece of tracing paper and laid it over...
before TikTok. We're tracing paper.
Right. and laid it over the top of the state map, you'd look at Boothby and say, well, they're in big trouble in Boothby, the federal Liberals. And also, given the result in Norwood, in Stephen Marshall's seat, which encompasses a fair bit of Sturt, you'd say they're in big trouble in Sturt. In a funny way, I think Sturt's more vulnerable to for the Liberals than Boothby. Boothby's always been a hard seat. To win. And I know that poll showed that the Liberals are going to lose it. I'd probably rather see like a Tizer YouGov poll or a News poll looking at those two seats. But Sturt could be more vulnerable. You could have a situation where, well, maybe both seats will fall, but you could have a situation where Boothby sticks and Sturt falls in this election. It's going to be one of the federal election's going to be very hard to call.
Well, you've already tipped that Peter Malinauskas is going to be Prime Minister in 2032. What about this race for this Senate seat? We saw Adam Bant in Adelaide yesterday campaigning hard. You mentioned Nick Xenophon there, of course, Rex Patrick. A lot of competition for this seat, which could ultimately determine the balance of power, I guess. Yeah. Who's your tip to take that out?
I don't know yet.
Right.
I think Nick Xenophon's going to have quite a hard road, this election campaign. I don't think it's going to be like well, he had a hard one in the state election when he lost his bid for Hartley, but I think it's going to be a crowded space. Peter Malinauskas flagged yesterday that he's not just going to sit back. The Labor Party won't just sit back and surrender that space to Nick Xenophon. It's going to be a tough one.
Samantha Maiden came out and said that there's a lot of people in Canberra that aren't happy Nick Xenophon is coming back, a lot. What do you think she means by that?
Well, I just think he's going to have a hard road to the Senate.
Okay. Interesting. And also earlier, the Peter Malinauskas...
Let's wait and see what Sam comes up with if she's saying that.
Okay. Watch this space.
You got some spin to rate for us?
Yes.
9 to 10, out of 10, every time.
Now, it's a Scott Morrison morning this morning. We'll start, not with the pub yet. We will start with this one from Scott Morrison.
Now, they were for it and they were against it. And that's the problem with Labor. You never know what they're for because they're always against everything that they're for.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm not keeping up.
No, I know. It's very early in the morning. I don't understand that either. I haven't got a clue what he's saying there. I am giving him a 2 out of 10 on the Mighty 10 speed dial.
What was he talking about?
I don't know. I think it makes sense to him, and that's the main thing. But Scott Morrison's... It's always dangerous for any Prime Minister, Labor or Liberal, and always has been, to go into a shopping centre and meet real people, or worse still...
Silly old bugger.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or to go into a pub. And he ventured into a pub last night. You played the audio earlier of the pensioner having a big crack at Scott Morrison in Newcastle, and the world-famous Edgeworth Tavern. But you know how people come up to Polly's and they get a little selfie with them? And normally you do that, you're a big fan. Well, this young lady wasn't.
Congratulations on being the worst Prime Minister we've ever had.
Oh!
Burn!
And she's done a little video of that, you see, so there's congratulations on being the worst Prime Minister we've ever had. And you can see Scott Morrison's smile sort of die on his face at about that point. It's quite cruel. And I don't make a habit of feeling sorry for Prime Ministers or politicians, but I do for him in that moment. I am giving that... 5 out of 10.
9 to 10, out of 10, every time.
Matthew Abraham, great to see you again. Thank you for coming in.
And Jade,
thank you so much.
Your local Mitre 10. Friendly service, expert advice, quality brands and great prices. That's mighty helpful, Mitre 10. Let's get a check of the traffic now. Get your tickets for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery's biggest ever $4 million grand prize.
At Trott Park on the Southern Expressway, look out for timber that's fallen off the back of a truck near Panelatinga Road. West Hindmarsh, drainage works on Port Road near South Road heading outbound. One lane closed and speeds at 40. And Darlington works on the Flagstaff Road upgrade continue near the South Road intersection. Cameras today, Golfy Road, Christie's Beach. Main Road, McLaren Vale. Northeast Road at Modbury. 5 crispy chicken strips for $5 at Oporto. 5 100% crispy chicken strips with a dipping sauce for just $5. Limited time only. Order in store or takeaway now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Adelaide has a new home for BMW at Medindi BMW, with a large selection of BMW certified used vehicles available for immediate delivery prior to end of financial year. Visit Medindi BMW today at number 1 Main North Road, Medindi.
Thanks Frydenberg and ScoMo for the $250. That works out to $1.60 a week over the next 3 years. Tell them they're dreaming. Vote 1, United Australia Party. Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
Listen carefully to what I'm about to say because it could save your life. If you currently have a personal alert system that relies on a fixed landline or is plugged into your NBN modem, you're at risk. If there's a power failure, it will not work.
That's right. It's a real worry because there are so many people listening right now that are probably unaware that during a blackout, when you're fumbling around looking for a torch or trying to navigate around the home in the dark, this is when accidents happen. But because your NBN modem has lost power, there is absolutely no way to call for help.
Well, don't worry, our friends at Care Alert have a solution. If you have a personal alert system that relies on a fixed landline or is plugged into your NBN modem, you might just be eligible to upgrade to the latest Care Alert Smart Dialer for just $99.
Did you say $99? They're normally closer to $400.
Yep, but they've got funding available to upgrade at a whopping 75% off.
Yes, and you have to hand it to the Care Alert team, don't you? For more info, you can check their website out at carealert.com.au or call them on 1300 75 85 95.
Don't just send it, ace it. If your current job is driving you bonkers, well, get outdoors and hit the road. Here's Chris from ASIC Couriers to tell you how.
Thanks, Rowie. ASIC Couriers is growing, and we need more drivers to keep our promise of perfect service. So if you want a career that'll take you places, get in touch with us at ASIC Couriers. Visit asiccouriers.com.au.
Don't just send it, ace it.
The Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery is giving you the chance to live mortgage-free in Henley Beach with a $4 million grand prize. Fully furnished and ready for you to move in, the 4-bedroom Scott Salisbury home has it all, including $1 million cash. Just imagine your housewarming party. Get your tickets today at homelottery.com.au and join the fight for cures and improved care for every South Australian. Licence M141166.
Hey, it's Callum here. Whether you're buying your first Mazda, trading your old vehicle, or getting your car serviced, take it from me. You cannot go wrong with the team at Edwardstown Mazda. edwardstownmazda.com.au.
It's gotta be
LMVD 207428.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
Help create a home for South Australians impacted by cancer. Visit 202greenhill.com.au.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
The understudies are on. Jade, Robran and Michael Smith in the chair for Will and Dave, who are both out with the virus. The spicy cough has taken down our superheroes. Thank you for joining us. Interesting text here from Peter at Wallaroo apropos of what Matthew Abraham was saying. He says, Mally will do our state proud for the next 4 years. Says he's not a Labor voter, but very impressed so far. His tip is that he will be elevated to federal politics as well. Maybe a Prime Minister from South Australia down the track.
Wouldn't that be fantastic? I've been really impressed, I have to say. Straight away, the Monday he started work, let's call a meeting about COVID. I want to know everything that there is to know. And it just seemed like he got that whole SA Health team back on track, on the same page. I felt like there was a bit of friction going on, in the old government. And, yeah, I mean, he's hit the ground running and time will tell. It's only early days, but so far so good.
Now, I normally come on the AA Breakfast Show on a Thursday to talk about Flashback, and that's what I was planning to do last night until everyone got coronavirus.
But now you're hosting the whole shebang.
So this week on 7 News Flashback, which runs in the news on a Sunday night, we're looking at a really fun topic, and we'd love to hear from you if you've got any memories of this. Roller skating at its peak in Adelaide in the 80s, I guess. Were you ever a roller skater, Jade?
I was more of a rollerblader.
Oh, well, you're a bit younger, you see.
Well, just a teeny tiny bit, only because I feel like I was very uncoordinated to roller skate. I tried, and I just didn't have the smooth motion going, so I took it one step higher and did the rollerblading. But it is so much fun, and I think, if you're going to go roller skating, you've got to go all out and just get totally kitted out. 70s, 80s vibe it all the way.
Adelaide used to be literally spinning with rollerdromes. People would have fond memories of Skate Line at Modbury was really big. The Elizabeth Rollerdrome, which closed I think in about 86, actually hosted the World Roller Skating Championships in 1977. Other people might have fond memories of the Hindmarsh Rollerdrome down there on Port Road. Eastwood, long demolished. There used to be, I think it was an old cinema opposite the Parkside Primary School there that was converted into a roller skating rink. That was very popular. I used to go to downtown on a Saturday afternoon
On
with my
Hindley
sister.
Street?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then play a bit of air hockey and dodgem cars afterwards.
That was just the best childcare centre for adolescents, wasn't it? Parents would just drive past, drop you off and have a great time, keep it clean, no kisses behind the kiosk,
Although we got
and
a
I'll pick you up in 4 hours' time.
And they had lock-ins overnight too. I think we had a text earlier saying that someone got their first pash at the Eastwood Rollerdrome. I've caught up with Heather Kroll, who we know as the Fringe Director.
Absolutely, yep.
And she is still a big fan of roller skating. Originally grew up in FIVEAA, did the outdoor rinks and things there, came down to Adelaide for boarding school. She was a regular at downtown and Eastwood.
So when I was at boarding school, that's when we started to go to Eastwood and also downtown. I think people thought downtown was a bit of an upgrade. It was a bit of a, superior destination to the normal cement roller skating rink that we'd all been growing up on. My favourite was backward speed skating. That was my absolute specialty. I was backward speed skater.
And curiously, during lockdown, Heather and her partner were roller skating in the lounge room to keep... She's actually very nimble. You have to watch 7 News Flashback on Sunday night to see her doing her backward roller skating in the backyard.
Oh, well, bringing out all the tricks. Backward skating.
Could be a Fringe show in itself. I can't see Heather Kroll roller skating in a tent. Adelaide, interestingly, is the only capital city in Australia that doesn't have a dedicated roller skating rink now. When downtown closed back in the 80s, Steve Condis, who was the Lord Mayor at the time, actually suggested putting a big outdoor rink in the South Parklands. You know where the Rat Collection Centre is now on Green Hill Road? There were plans for a big outdoor centre there that could accommodate sort of 600 people to skate around outside.
That could work.
And there's a bit of a renaissance going on. We went out to do some filming at the Ingle Farm Rec Centre where they have at least a couple of skating sessions a week. It's a multi-use centre, so it's on a basketball court effectively there. Pretty good conditions, but the diehard skaters say Adelaide would really benefit if we had a proper rollerdrome back. Maybe it's a case of build it and they will come.
Yeah, well, roller derby, that's a huge thing, isn't it? They've brought that back, so there's certainly an appetite for it. Can you call in, let us know, 8223 0000, or text us on the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line 0448 08 1395. What are your fondest memories of roller skating growing up as a kid? Have you got any stories that you can tell us about? Well, yeah, roller skating, roller derby, downtown. There'd be so many people listening that frequent downtown. Few stories. We'd love to hear from you.
It was great fun. They always had good music there and blue carpet up the walls from memory too. Space Invaders, roller skating, bit of air hockey and dodgems. That was a sensational Saturday afternoon in Adelaide. 5 to 8 now on 891.
Oh, dump button, quick.
Well, I won't be called back.
See you later. You know what? We're going to the news. I'm not sure if I'm going to see you on the other side.
Well, no. We're going to go to Blakey first. Give me a break. Oh, no. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? It's 4 minutes to 8 on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA. Time to listen to John Blake. Thanks to, where's the credit for this one? This is going swimmingly. It was all going well until I forgot where I was.
It's all right. We're at FIVEAA, the place to catch COVID.
13 Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight, distribution, warehousing. Maybe I'm getting early COVID. And local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast on 13 64.
Good morning, Marion Council. How can I help you?
Yeah, hi. I'd like planning approval to build a treehouse, please.
Certainly. Are you planning to build it yourself?
Yes, I am.
Right. There are certain regulations you'll need to abide by.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. What will the structure be made of?
It'll be made of wood.
Right. And what are the dimensions of the structure in square metres?
Yeah, it'll end up being roughly a bit over an area of 5 square metres.
Right. Well, the regulations state that if it's under 5 square metres, then you're not required to seek approval.
All right. Well, the size of the tree kind of dictates how big the tree house is going to be, so I need to go a bit over the 5 square metres.
Right. Well, the council wouldn't give approval for that, but if you get it half built, it'll then go before the independent review panel.
Oh, what's that?
It's an independent review panel consisting of David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Really?
Yes, it's called the FIVEAA Breakfast Show Independent Review Panel based on listener feedback from the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line.
Oh, since when's that been part of council procedure?
Oh, well, it's just been introduced.
Who introduced that?
David Penberthy and Will Goodings of the FIVEAA Breakfast Show Independent Review Panel.
Yeah,
based
okay,
on
whatever. So when do I find out whether it's approved or not?
Oh, it's usually pretty quick. They come in thick and fast. That's what they say on the FIVEAA.
Yeah. So if I get approval from the independent review panel, then can I go ahead with it?
Well, only after it's then been scrutinised by various interviewers from the Adelaide Advertiser and FIVEAA.
All right, and then can I go ahead?
Possibly not.
Why not?
Because unfortunately the independent review panel doesn't have any power. It just tells us what people think.
Oh, well, I want to complain.
Yes, certainly. The number to ring is 04 48081 395.
395. What's that number?
That's the Telstra Store Mount Barker text line. Have a lovely day.
But I haven't.
Oh, that's brilliant. I think the gentleman from Seaview Downs, he's been given an olive branch to keep the treehouse, which is good news. Keep the treehouse, I vote. All right, we are going to take a really short break, go into the newsroom. Coming up afterwards, Adelaide Crow star Tom Duday will join us.
You deserve to enjoy doing what you're passionate about. Gardening, for example, or walking to keep fit. So if your body is stopping you from enjoying the life you want, come and see us at SportsMed. Our Stepney Healthcare Hub includes our own hospital, orthopaedic surgeons, doctors, physios and podiatrists, so we can see to your care from diagnosis to rehabilitation, all in one place. Easy. Get back to doing what you love. sportsmed.com.au.
Hear that? That's the sound of the wild calling. And it's calling you. The chimpanzee is one of over 500 animals that you'll experience at Monarto Safari Park. The wild is calling. Are you listening? Book your tickets online at monartosafari.com.au.
We all know Dave loves Mitre 10, but I have to say I'm a bit of a home handyman myself. I love my local Mitre 10. It's one of my one-stop shops for all my DIY jobs, whether it's something indoors that needs fixing or out in the garden. Mitre 10 is sure to have everything you need. The staff are great too. They'll happily give you advice on what you'll need and the best products to use.
So if you've got a list of things to finish around the home before Easter or maybe over Easter, then head into Mitre 10. You can shop in store or you can use the Mitre 10 click and collect option to order online. Most stores have delivery options available too.
So to get things shipshape around the home before Easter or to stock up ready for the Easter chores, see the team at your local Mitre 10. That's mighty helpful Mitre 10, quality brands at great prices.
G'day, it's Jared for Wayville Mitsubishi. The iconic Wayville Australian Motors Mitsubishi showroom on Goodwood Road is going through an incredible rebuild, but the sales and service centre are still open. Same location, different entrance. Right now you'll need to enter via Goodwood Road for sales and via Davenport Lane for service. Looking for a new Mitsi or servicing your existing car? Get in touch with the amazing team at Wayville Mitsubishi opposite the showgrounds. Driven by Australian Motors. LVD 80.
We don't just say we're local. We are local. 9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 24 today with the 8 o'clock news. I'm Mel Usher.
Had a bingle driving to work? Contact FIVEAA Panel Services at premierpanel.com.au.
3 people have been arrested after 3 separate servo robberies overnight. Senior Constable Kylie Simpson says the first one happened on Marion Road at Mitchell Park around 1:30.
2 teenage boys allegedly entered the store, threatened staff and stole cigarettes. 10 minutes later, while police were at the Mitchell Park service station, a second hold-up alarm was activated on South Road at St Mary's. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered the store, threatened staff before jumping the counter and punching the attendant.
A third service station on Five Ash Drive at Pasadena was then robbed and 2 attendants were assaulted. 1 required medical treatment. Police dog Bandit was called in and discovered 3 people in a blue Nissan in a car park at St Mary's. 2 17-year-old boys and a 33-year-old man have been arrested and charged with 3 counts of aggravated robbery. They'll face court today. The education system is feeling the effects of COVID. Remote learning is back on the agenda for more than 7,000 students as the virus hits staffing numbers. 10 public schools are closed today. Well, the date for the first Malinaska state budget will be revealed today as the new parliamentary sitting schedule is unveiled. The first Marshall state budget, after the Libs win in March 2018, was handed down in September. The first financial blueprint from the new Labor government is expected earlier. Costings, released just before we went to the polls last month, detailed a $3.1 billion policy agenda. Foreign Minister Maurice Payne is meeting US and European officials in Brussels to discuss the situation in Ukraine. A number of countries have already expelled Russian diplomats, but Australia is yet to go down that path. We've imposed travel bans and economic sanctions on Russian individuals and entities. Senator Payne's US counterpart, Antony Blinken, says he's looking forward to constructive discussions.
We're excited at the prospect of bringing some of our partners from the Asia Pacific together with NATO. That's certainly part of what we're doing here together, but also a lot of work that we're following up on that we've been doing together in the region.
Telstra has launched a new filter aimed at cutting down the number of scam text messages. CEO Andy Penn says customers should already be seeing fewer of the malicious texts.
So we've built a model that basically helps us better identify SMSs which look to be malicious, and then we check that they are, and then we block them so that our customers don't actually access them. And so because you have seen a reduction, that's because we're already implementing some of these technologies.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Adelaide Oval will host the round 4 opener between Port and the Demons tonight. Tom Cleary is back for the home side, replacing Sam Skinner. Jake Lever returns to Melbourne's lineup. Joel Smith has been omitted. Well, the countdown continues to this weekend's AFLW Grand Final. The Crows play the Demons at Adelaide Oval on Saturday, and there are still plenty of tickets left. Crows forward Stevie Lee Thompson is encouraging South Aussies to show their support.
I think anyone would be hoping for a big crowd. Having 53,000 in 2019, that was still gives me goosebumps now, so having that amount would be amazing.
Pat Cummins has impressed for Kolkata in a 5-wicket IPL win over Mumbai. The Aussie Test skipper finished unbeaten after smashing 56 runs from just 15 balls after claiming 2 wickets with the ball. It's day 1 of the Melbourne Grand Prix. The supercars will be in action today. The Formula Ones will have their first practice session tomorrow. Olympic bronze medalist Harry Garside has won the Australian lightweight boxing title. Former world number 5 Joe Wilfred Songa has announced he'll retire from tennis after this year's French Open. And Burnley has defeated fellow relegation battler Everton 3-2 in the EPL, now just 1 point from safety. That's sport. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Win an incredible Henley Beach home plus $1 million cash in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery.
At Regency Park, breakdown on the north-south motorway near South Road. Trott Park on the Southern Expressway, look out for timber that's fallen off the back of a truck. It's near Panelatinga Road. And look out at Ovingham. Works on Torrens Road near Park Terrace continue. That's affecting both directions. Cameras this morning, Jetty Road, Largs Bay, Military Road, Westlake Shore, North East Road at Modbury. Today is Telstra Day. Hurry in for unreal deals on a range of phones, accessories and more. Don't miss it. Today only. Shop Telstra in-store or online now. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
When glass breaks, call the experts at O'Brien. O'Brien.
Heading for a top of 24 today and partly cloudy, mostly sunny tomorrow 26 and then up to 28 and sunny on Saturday. Right now it's 17 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Help create a home for South Australians impacted by cancer. Visit 202greenhill.com.au.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Michael Smith and Jade Robran in the deep end today, both The boys are down with coronavirus, Jade.
They are. Will woke up, I think, around 7 o'clock and has texted Sam. And what's going on? Who are these voices? Yes, your little compadre has gone down as well.
Who are these roosters on the radio?
The Z team.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad, champ. At least you know what station you're on. A little bit of difficulty earlier, but there you go. We've got a chance for you to bid for an amazing VIP experience at Adelaide Oval with your own corporate box at any AFL game of your choice this season, excluding the showdowns. This is valued at over $8,000. You and 17 of your mates will enjoy the game with hospitality, including one of the best vantage points at Adelaide Oval. All the funds raised will support SA Police Legacy, providing financial, emotional and social support, assistance and benefits to serving and retired South Australian police officers and their families during times of crisis. To bid on this amazing prize, all you have to do is head to policelegacysA.org.au. We're going to be taking bids live on the program tomorrow to see who takes home this amazing experience. So support SA Police Legacy and support SA Police families when they need it most. Visit policelegacysA.org.au.
Great cause. What a massive prize that is. Now, earlier this morning, we spoke to Kylie Simpson from SAPOL. 3 people have been arrested after 3 aggravated robberies in the southern suburbs early this morning.
It all started at 1:30 this morning. Police responded to a hold-up alarm at a service station on Marion Road at Mitchell Park. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered the store, threatened staff and stole cigarettes. 10 minutes later, while police were at the Mitchell Park service station, a second hold-up alarm was activated on South Road at St Mary's. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered the store, threatened staff before jumping the counter and punching the attendant. They left empty-handed. And then at 1:51am, so 9 minutes later, police responded to a third hold-up alarm. This one was on 5 Ash Drive. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered that store, threatened staff with a knife before jumping the counter and punching the operator. The teens stole cash and cigarettes. So 2 console operators sustained minor injuries. 1 requires medical treatment.
Now, a police dog bandit and his handler were called in to assist, and while they were tracking in the area, they saw a blue Nissan and 3 people were inside. It was in a car park on Rothesay Avenue at St Mary's. The car was searched and the cops found cash and cigarettes. Now, a man aged 33 of no fixed address and 2 17-year-olds from Hewitt and also Kilburn were arrested. They've been charged with 3 counts of aggravated robbery. They have been refused police bail and they'll appear in the Adelaide Magistrates and Adelaide Youth Court today. The cigarettes and cash stolen during the robberies were also recovered. Police say they seized the blue Nissan and are making inquiries with the owner of the car to establish if it is in fact stolen. So it feels like we're just hearing more and more young youths committing crimes, lately, Michael. I've been talking about it a lot on afternoons. It's not a good sign.
And you've got to feel really for these service station attendants who work at all hours of the day and night in a fairly vulnerable position. 8:10 on 5AA Breakfast with Jade, Robran and Michael Smith in for Will and Dave this morning, both out with the spicy cough. Do you get many sort of scam text messages on your phone, Jade?
I haven't, because I have a Richard Pascoe that joins me once a week.
Tech guy.
Yeah, and so I've got first-hand guru knowledge who tells me how to duck and weave from these guys. But in all seriousness, I think around, whenever there's an election, you get the dodgy texts that come through. And to be honest, I jump on and block them. And I found that I'm getting less and less.
I noticed a Netflix scam going around the other day, but this was email as opposed to text, saying your account's been disabled or disconnected and please link here to update your credit card details. You turn on Netflix and your account's still active. So got to be mindful of all of these sort of things. We're talking about this morning because Telstra has launched this new filter which is really aimed at cutting down the number of scam text messages you're likely to get. Basically, it sniffs out malicious web links and spots the patterns of automated scam campaigns. This is Chief Executive Andy Penn, who says scammers can be very clever and potentially the consequences are dire.
They can either trick you into clicking a link and then you can download some malware onto your device and it can freeze your device. You could be subject to a ransomware attack, or they con you into ringing a number and then you've got somebody on the other end of the line who's trying to trick you into giving over private details.
There's some really dodgy scams going around at the moment. We had a gentleman ring in saying, I got a message from a telco company saying you need to ring this number and hand over your details. We've got all the photos, some illicit photos that we've taken off your computer. The gentleman was like, I don't have any. I don't know what he's accessed. And he really freaked out. And they're very, very convincing. They're very clever and manipulative. And I must admit, I have fallen for a scam before. Because
Really?
I have, yeah. I got a text message from someone saying, you've purchased a $600 camera from Amazon. If this isn't the case, please call us. So I'm like, oh, $600, oh my golly. So I've called and I've ended up being on the phone line with them for 10 minutes and stupidly started to read out my credit card details.
Jade
Started
Robran. Really?
and then realised, hang on a minute, I've been hook, line, sinkered here. And anyway, no money was taken out of my account, but they're very clever. Or I'm just really stupid.
And a lot of the other scams are those ones that say you've got a parcel that's just arrived. You weren't at home when we tried to deliver it. Click here. It's like,
Yeah. And they'll say you only need to pay, 30 cents, but you think 30 cents times millions of people around the world, and they clean up.
Now, you said when you came in today, you noticed the petrol prices have dropped, so we should have a look at Fuel Watch this morning.
Let's do it.
In the $1.50s, I thought I was really clever. About 10 days ago, certainly before the federal budget, I thought, $2.05, better fill up, that's a bargain. Nah. And now it's...
Well, it was a bargain then.
Well, it was. It was. Much more pleasant at the Bowser these days. $1.54 up North East Road this morning. $1.55 on Torrens Road. $1.59 if you're on South Road in Edwardstown. It's in the hills. It's $1.67. Price of diesel also slightly dropping. A lot of people relying on diesel. $1.99 at the entrance to the freeway and $1.92 on Brighton Road.
On the way in this morning, $1.59 Doothie Street in Unley. I crossed that one and I passed it on the way in. So it's nice to see at a one. We were doing high fives with each other when it was $1.95 and now dropping down to that $1.50. I can feed my kids tonight.
And I was very excited to see, because the RAA app is a really good way of checking fuel in your area. But I had to ring them up the other day because my app wasn't working properly, and it's because the parameter for fuel prices had been set at $2, and so all of the data was coming up blank because it was all over $2. But thankfully, they've upgraded the app now. I think it's out to $3 for maximum price. You can download the free My RAA app today to find the cheapest fuel in an instant. Tom Duday's coming up. I'm excited about this.
He certainly is. I reckon let's have a look at traffic before we do that.
On 5AA Breakfast, thanks to our very good friends at the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. It's their biggest ever $4 million lottery grand prize. Get a ticket today.
At Regency Park, breakdown on the north-south motorway near South Road. Trot Park on the Southern Expressway, look out for timber that's fallen off the back of a truck near Panalatinga Road. Alberton footpath maintenance works there. Port Road near Grange Junction Road affecting both directions with cameras. Frederick Road, Seaton, Main Road, McLaren Vale, St Vincent Street's at Port Adelaide. Get to Adelaide Oval this Saturday to watch the Adelaide Crows take on Melbourne in the 2022 NAB AFLW Grand Final. Tickets $10 at women's.afl. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The mighty Adelaide Crows women's team have once again made it into the AFLW Grand Final.
Showtime from the Crows.
One more win will see the Crows ladies take out the 2022 AFLW Premiership.
That was a beautiful passage of play from Adelaide.
This Saturday from midday, the Crows will lay it all on the line as they play host to Daisy's Demons in the decider.
Woodland reigns supreme.
The AFLW Grand Final, live from the Adelaide Oval on 5AA.
It's okay to want more, which is why more and more people choose Mawson Lakes Volkswagen to service their car, especially Volkswagen owners. At Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, we offer state-of-the-art servicing, complimentary loan cars, next-day servicing, and breakfast or lunch is on us. Why? Because when you're Adelaide's newest Volkswagen dealer, you want to give more. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, just a short drive from the city. Visit mawsonlakesvw.com.au and book your service today.
Thanks Frydenberg and ScoMo for the $250. That works out to $1.60 a week over the next 3 years. Tell them they're dreaming. Vote 1, United Australia Party. Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
Ladies, this is a serious issue. Are you always looking for the closest bathroom? Because when you've got to go, you've really got to go. Overactive bladder is a medically diagnosed condition that can make you feel you need to go to the bathroom urgently, as well as cause difficulty holding on until you get there. Caruso's Wee Less is a therapeutic bladder health supplement that helps reduce the urinary incontinence and urgency associated with a medically diagnosed overactive bladder. It also supports bladder health and function, so if you want help to control the urge, try Caruso's Wee Less today. It's made here in Australia, comes with a money-back guarantee and is available from leading pharmacies and health food stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use. If symptoms persist, call your health professional.
Hello, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, we have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easy for property investors and the tenants of their properties. Everyone is treated with integrity and respect. That's the Lynn Andrews way. For commercial and residential property management, we are here to help. Visit lynandrews.com.au.
The 7-seat Isuzu MUX. Exquisite styling, exceptional tech, and when it's time to get off the beaten track, it's exhilarating. You can go your own. With exceptional towing and off-road capability, plus a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, the Isuzu MUX range is extraordinary. Hurry to your local Isuzu Ute dealer today.
We don't just say we're local. We are local. 9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate to cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support this April.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
They're both out with the Rona this morning. Michael Smith and Jade Robran in the deep end for them. It's time to catch up with the dude, thanks to Leader Computers, Australia's largest Australian-owned PC manufacturer, based right here in Adelaide.
I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know, that or his dudeness or duder or, you know, El Duderino if you're not into the whole brevity thing.
His dudeness, welcome to the program. You're very brave to be in here today.
Thank you. No, it's good. I like a change up sometimes. Pembo and Will are great, but you know, it gets to a point where you're just talking to the same people every week. It's Mike and Jade. It's more exciting, I reckon.
This is true. And look, last week Dave wasn't in the chair, and look, he's not here again. So you really should have got yourself extremely comfortable.
Yeah. I did send him a text last week with just a little Google search on his laptop how to take Pembo's job, and no, he took that kindly. I didn't mean for him to get COVID after it and then officially him be out for a week. But no, it's
you massively mocked him.
Yeah, I think so. I think I did. I didn't intentionally do that. It was meant to be a little gag, but turns out he's gone for a week. So yeah.
Now, is that post-showdown buzz still around the club, or have you had to focus on this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, you try to move on and focus on the next week, and we've started to look at Essendon and how we're going to play against them, but yeah, it's sort of hard to move on. Obviously, you get asked in media and family, and then Dorse's goal just pops up randomly on Instagram, and you watch it again, get the buzz, get the tingles, and then you're back in that zone of beating Port after the siren on a showdown. So we try to move on, but we had a nice little 3-day break to get over it in a sense, but it's going to live with me forever, that one.
Is his statue at Westlake's unveiled yet, or are they still building?
No, still building. He asked for it to be in pure gold, so it's taken a little bit longer to make. But no, he's he's calling himself he's not calling himself, but we're calling him the King of Adelaide, and I think he's starting to catch on a little bit.
Yeah.
That didn't take long, did it? You guys were under the pump for a few weeks there, so it was nice to get the win in such a style as well. Were you able to go and have a few raspberry cordials and really build that team camaraderie again?
Yeah, we had a couple of raspberry cordials after the game. No, it was good. We sort of, obviously after a loss, we're still in the rooms together after the game, but it's just not the same feeling. You're sort of more, all right, let's do the review, let's get changed, get out of here. But then after a win, especially a win like that, it turns into a bit more of a, not necessarily a party, but just a celebration. And we were saying our dietitian, it was her final day. She'd been here for 7 years, so it was a bit of a celebration in that regard. So it was a full club effort in the sense to get off the schneid for the year, and to do it against that team's makes it a little bit sweeter.
Did you celebrate with some of Chris Jarmer's ribs? See, he comes in on a Friday and cooks with me and cooked those delicious ribs. And normally he keeps a plate for me to at least try something. And he didn't. He took them straight to Adelaide Oval. And I feel that there was some special herbs and spices because I said to him, you need to cook with a little bit of chilli, a little bit of fire to fire these boys up tonight. And voila, look.
They were incredible. We had them post game, so I don't know if I can push too much in terms of it got us over the line. Maybe the thought of having the ribs after the game helped us, but yeah, he's an unbelievable cook, Chris. He does a lot of work for us at the club during the week, but then his post game meals are next level. And those ribs, I actually only got a little bit because they were pretty much gone straight away. Everyone jumped on him, especially Big Tex didn't play, so he thought he'd devour a few after the game.
Well, speaking of Big Tex, of course, he's back after his lengthy suspension this weekend. He's missed a fair bit of footy. What sort of shape is he in?
No, he's incredible, Nick, to be honest. He hasn't been beaten up and bruised from the first 3 games like a few of us have. He's been doing his sessions at with the physios and the HBT staff, and he come into the pre-season in great nick. He looks motivated, and yeah, he's obviously straight back in, so he's doing something right. And it's exciting for our forwards to have a bit more experience down there, and especially we know how he started last year. He kicking bag on a bag, and he just kept going. So if he can bring that same level of form, we're in a good spot.
How hostile do you think the crowd might be at Marvel on the weekend, given his suspension?
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I don't think there'll be any sort of hostility specifically towards him. I don't know. I don't know if it's whether time's healed that or whatnot, but I can't see it being any sort of situation where it's a boo specifically when he gets the ball. He doesn't deserve that.
And Sloaney's looking good too. Sounds like he might play.
Yeah, he trained well. Back to his best. We had a fair bit of match sim yesterday because we're coming off obviously a 9-day break, Friday to Sunday, so we had a bit of extra time at training, and he was looking pretty good out there, back to his physical best, diving on balls and quick hands and whatnot. So he was, it was good to see him back. Especially, obviously, a showdown you want to have your best players in, especially your captain, and to go back to having him back in against Essendon at Marvel, where they're pretty damn good. It's going to be handy.
We normally talk week by week to week with football. At the moment, it's day by day. With COVID, their coach is out, COVID protocols. They're 0 to 3, so they're under the pump too. It's going to be fierce. Yeah,
you sort of... I don't know, you want to... At AFL level, I've found the record books don't matter at times. I think if you looked at us... last year against Geelong, last year against Melbourne, you sort of go, well, did it really matter what our record said versus what their record said? And we're one kick away from being 0-3 as well, which would have made it a little bit difficult in terms of going in with more confidence. But at Marvel, they are an incredibly fast-paced team. They love using the corridor. They score a lot, and we saw that last year when we went down there and they just obliterated us. So we've got a pretty clear game plan at the moment, but they're going to be as hungry as ever. And when you're 0-3, as we found out last year being last season being 0-2, we really want to get off the schneid early, and they were in that same boat. So let's see how we go, and hopefully Essendon don't do what they did to us last year.
Massive game.
5 8 10 1.
How about we talk about the girls? Massive,
I was going to say, yeah.
massive
Great
game
point.
on Saturday, heading into the finals against Melbourne. They have had an unbelievable run, and they've just got such a great camaraderie together, the girls, and I'm confident. I hope they can get across the line, and it's a huge day for your club.
Massive day. Yeah, we obviously a big weekend last weekend with all 3 teams winning the SANFL, AFL and then AFLW, and theirs was the biggest win of the lot, winning a prelim, especially the way they did it. They were pretty dominant, and we were at the game, a few of us were there, and FIVEAA just could not consistently get the ball in their own forward 50, and if they did, Sarah Allen and whatnot down there just dominating, and they're obviously the red hot favourite. They've been dominant all year. They haven't looked like getting beaten majority of the year, so we're wishing them all the best. Hopefully we can get there to support it. Our flight, we're trying to move that around a little bit to see if we can get there, but they're a wonderful team. They're a wonderful bunch of girls. They've worked so hard this pre-season, and the ability to go from work to training and then put their best foot forward and then come out and just dominate the way they have has been motivating for us and inspiring, and hopefully they finish it off.
Well, enough with the footy, down to the really serious stuff. You were at the movies last night, Everything Everywhere All at Once. You've called it the best movie of the year. We're only, admittedly, in April, but big call.
Yeah, look, I don't mind going early with a call like that, going a little bit out on a limb. It was honestly, I went in with very high expectations and it delivered on every element of it. It starts off a little bit odd, there's a bit going on, but it's a bit of a family drama to begin, and then you think, where's this going to go? And then it turns into a pretty damn funny comedy. There was probably about 15 moments where it was genuine laugh out loud, and then it turns into a bit of an action and then a bit of a multiverse sci-fi sort of thing, and then it comes back with this incredibly emotional and touching ending. And it was an advanced screening, so it only comes out, I think, in a week or two's time, but I'll be going back straight away to see it again. And I haven't really had an experience like that in the movies since Parasite in 2019, so it's something that I'm huge on it. I'm calling it early that it's the best film of the year, and I think it's going to be pretty damn tough to beat.
It's got the girl from Crazy Rich Asians, the mean mum in it.
Yep.
She's a star.
She's unbelievable. Yeah, her performance, and when you watch it, you'll understand with the way the metaverse works or the different parallel universes and stuff. She has to do about 32 different roles in the movie, and she nails every single one of them. And it's incredibly impressive. So when it comes out, I think next week, it'll be a wide release. I hope. Get out and see it, and 5 stars. It's unbelievable.
Tom, thanks so much for coming in. All the best against the Bombers on the weekend. Great to meet you in the flesh.
Appreciate it. You guys have done well.
Thanks.
Hembo and Will, who?
That'll get back. Tom Duday, thanks to Leader Computers, Australia's largest Australian-owned PC manufacturer, based right here in Adelaide.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. When you need a forklift, don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift. Get the world's #1 forklift brand. Get legendary Toyota reliability, get world-leading safety, and get it from toyotamaterialhandling.com.au. Get the Toyota Forklift Advantage for sales, service, and hire. Get a Toyota forklift.
If you want to feel great about the milk you pour in your tea and coffee, over your cereal, or in your smoothie, make sure it's from the FIVEAA Milk Company, because it's a great feeling buying from people who love SA as much as you do. 3 words make all the difference. FIVEAA Milk Company. South Australian and proud of it. Whew, feel like a cuppa now.
FIVEAA Milk Company, celebrating 15 years of SA business. FLURIOMilkco.com.au.
You could be the missing piece to the puzzle if you've been itching to help out. Now you can. CMAX are trialling a potential skin treatment and need your help. If you're aged 18 to 55, don't have atopic dermatitis, and you're in generally good health, you might be eligible to participate. Eligible participants will stay at the state-of-the-art CMAX facilities for only 4 nights with 1 follow-up visit. Not only will you help make a difference, you'll have plenty of free time to catch up on what's important to you, and you'll be reimbursed for your time. So if you're aged 18 to 55 in good health and you'd like to volunteer for the study, visit cmax.com.au and search for CM7721. That's cmax.com.au, CM7721.
As one door closes, another opens for your chance to win the new $4 million grand prize in the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery. The fully furnished Scott Salisbury home in Henley Beach has it all, including $1 million cash, with over 10,000 prizes to win, including luxury cars and getaways. You don't want to miss this one. Join the fight and get your tickets today at homelottery.com.au. Licence M141166.
The Nissan Navara has landed. It's got a 3.5-tonne brake towing capacity, 1-tonne payload, and an intelligent off-road around view monitor. Contact your Nissan dealer today. T's and C's apply.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Partly cloudy, 24 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Had a bingle driving to work? Contact premierpanel.com.au. RAA approved crash repairer.
3 people have been arrested after 3 servo robberies in the southern suburbs early this morning. Kendall Brettig reports.
The crime spree began on Marion Road at Mitchell Park around 1:30. 2 teenage boys allegedly entered the servo and threatened staff before stealing cigarettes. 10 minutes later, there was a second hold-up alarm at a servo on South Road at St Mary's. 2 teenagers had entered the store and threatened staff before jumping the counter, punching the attendant. They left empty-handed. Soon after, police were called to a third hold-up at a service station location on Five Ash Drive at Pasadena. Once again, 2 teenagers had entered the store and threatened the console operator with a knife before jumping the counter and punching him. 2 console operators suffered minor injuries. 1 required medical treatment. Police dog Bandit was called in and found 3 people in a blue Nissan in a car park at St Mary's. The car was searched and cash and cigarettes were found. A man aged 33 and 2 17-year-old boys have been arrested and charged with 3 counts of aggravated robbery. They'll face court today.
The federal government is now picking up 2/3 of the cost of the Queensland flood disaster. The state government claims the Commonwealth hasn't done enough to help locals affected by the deluge. The Prime Minister argues that's wrong, accusing the Palaszczuk government of lacking transparency. Scott Morrison says he's done his fair share and is prepared to do more.
My cautiousness in agreeing to requests from the Queensland government on the eve of an election, I think people might be able to understand when they won't even tell you how much they've already spent on the money we've already committed to in this flood crisis alone. I can tell you every day. Yesterday it was 370, today it's 379.
The US and Britain have imposed further sanctions against major Russian banks and more members of the nation's elite. The country's largest bank will have its assets frozen in both America and the UK, and President Putin's 2 adult daughters are among those newly targeted by the measures. US President Joe Biden says current sanctions could wipe out 15 years of Russia's economic developments by the end of this year.
Because we've cut Russia off from importing technologies like semiconductors and encryption security and critical components of quantum technology that they need to compete in the 21st century, we're going to stifle Russia's ability and its economy to grow for years to come.
Ed Sheeran has spoken of his stress after winning a plagiarism case involving his biggest hit. UK correspondent Brett McLeod has more.
In a career of hits, 2017 Shape of You is Ed Sheeran's top seller. But performer Sammy Switch claimed it was lifted from one of his songs, Oh Why, recorded 2 years earlier. Millions of dollars in annual royalties as well as reputations were at stake. Now Britain's High Court has ruled in Ed Sheeran's favour, a judge saying any similarities was coincidental. In a video post, Sheeran said lawsuits are not a pleasant experience, and he hopes the ruling means in the future baseless claims can be avoided.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
All new 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander with 10-year warranty, 10 years capped price servicing at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Round 4 in the AFL kicks off tonight with Port Adelaide hosting Melbourne. Tom Cleary will be back, the home side under pressure to snap their losing streak. Collingwood Vice-Captain Taylor Adams will miss Saturday's game against West Coast after testing positive to COVID, while Essendon coach Ben Rutten won't coach this weekend due to COVID. Preparations continue for this weekend's AFLW Grand Final. It's the Crows v the Demons at Adelaide Oval on Saturday afternoon. Montana McKinnon will miss after the club failed to downgrade her rough conduct charge for a bump on Freo's Kiara Bowers. Midfielder Anne Hatchard says it's disappointing.
To play so well as well, and then something like this by accident, and then, missing a grand final. Obviously, she's devastated, and our whole team's devastated for her. Our hearts just break because she has really worked so hard this season.
The US Masters starts tonight our time with 6 Aussies in the field. Commentator and former Tour pro Ewan Porter says any one of the Australians are capable of going all the way at Augusta.
Each and every one of them has the game, should they play well enough to really contend. And one player that hasn't been mentioned is Lucas Herbert, making his first Masters appearance. And he's proven he's won on the PGA Tour, he's won twice on the DP World Tour. He has the perfect game for Augusta National.
That's 5AA Sport, now checking 5AA traffic.
Get your tickets today for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery's biggest ever $4 million grand prize.
At Marston Smash on Richmond Road near South Road. Look out for a breakdown at Regency Park. It's on the north-south motorway near South Road. West Hindmarsh drainage works continue. Port Road near South Road heading outbound. Got one lane closed there, speeds at 40 k's. Busy at the moment. South Road near Anzac Highway with cameras the Esplanade, Seaford, Jetty Road, Larks Bay. It's Telstra Day. For today only, new customers can get 2 months of home internet for just $2 on selected plans. Find out more in-store or online at Telstra. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
When glass breaks, call the experts at O'Brien.
O'Brien. 24 today, partly cloudy, mostly sunny tomorrow, 26 and 28 on Saturday. Right now it's 15 degrees. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Cheer up, sleepy Jean.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate to cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support this April.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Both David and Will have the spicy cough coronavirus. Michael Smith and Jade Robran in the deep end for them. Jade?
Good morning. Yes, we got the call up. I got the call up at about 5:30 this morning and quickly shaved, showered, did everything you got to do.
I was going to ask you if you'd shaved this morning, actually. You put your Wonder Woman cape on and here you are.
And here we are.
Interesting things happening in Rundle Mall at the moment. A whole lot of previously loved spaces sort of being reinvented. Tom Wren, who was here for the first hour of the show today, has gone down to help with the opening of the new Rebel Sports Store in the mall. And interesting to see that Dimmicks is moving into, I guess, the upper shell of what was the old, once magnificent Regent Theatre. Let's find out a bit more about what's going on. Michael Rossi's with the Adelaide Economic Development Agency. Michael, welcome to 5AA Breakfast.
Good morning, team, and good to hear you bright and sparkly off the subs bench.
Thank you.
We're fighting fit for today.
No doubt, no doubt.
But exciting times in Rundle Mall, isn't it?
Yeah, look, it is. There's some incredible activation going on within stores. I think, the retail experience has expanded more and more in recent times, and Rebel Sports is a perfect example of a company that is building 3 levels of what is a sporting activation hub, where people can sort of test drive their sneakers on a custom-built basketball court and
really
check out the latest footy boots with an interactive projected wall. So it's really taking the next step in terms of the retail experience, and Rundle Mall is the place to do it.
And it's interesting, isn't it? Because COVID-19 kept us away from stores and that personal experience for so long. And I feel like we're really craving that. And you look at the new Dimmicks and it really does look like a library. It's attracting people to go back in and spend time and really, I guess, put their fingers through the books, isn't it? It's taking us back to that old school shopping days.
Yeah, you're so right. And as much as online shopping obviously has its place, at the end of the day, you just can't beat the tangible experience of touching and seeing a product and being able to go and take it home with you. And the fit out that they've done, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the incredible photography or the mock-ups of the fit out, spending 1.5 mil. We're going to have 40 new jobs created in there. And it's just a beautiful site that should be utilised. And I think it will just bring a larger following to the mall, and like you say, there's no need to rush. You can come and enjoy and sit and flick through the books exactly like you say in a more old school experience, I suppose.
So that's that real point of difference to get people back into the city, to entice them back into Rundle Mall. And I see that of course, that the QBD bookstore only opened the other day. So books are the future, and big bucks are being spent on these fit outs. The Regent shell has been, I guess, abandoned for some time. It's obviously been almost 20 years since it was actually a cinema, but it looks like it's being sort of restored and enhanced in a really sort of sympathetic way, Michael.
Yeah, and so it should. We've got so many beautiful buildings in Adelaide, and particularly in the mall and the facades and the interiors. They deserve, beautiful fit outs and these brands that are recognising that. Dimmicks have been in the mall for 30 years, and they'll come out of their pop-up site, which has been in the Maya Centre for the last year. That'll close on Sunday, and it's fantastic to see these beautiful spaces where people will be able to come and enjoy them rather than walled up. We're at a point now where the vacancy rates are down to 7.6%, which is the lowest level before the pandemic. So you can see that bricks and mortar still has a very significant place. A significant role to play in the retail industry, and with Rundle Mall being, the preeminent shopping district in South Australia and Australia's retail precinct of the year last year, we hope to continue that trajectory.
And you probably haven't done an official count on this question without notice. How many people pose by the pigeon for a selfie every day, do you reckon?
Well, it'd be pretty high, Michael. I think high numbers there. So I know I get down there just to say good day from time to time and stay connected with the city. And you know what? Apart from the mainstays like the pigeon, we've got some really exciting activity coming up in the next few weeks. There's an Adelaide Unleashed program running at the moment where we are really starting to spread a lot of the activity that's been happening in the East End over the last few weeks, and we've got DJs in the mall, and we've got a few things under our hat that we'll be announcing in the next few weeks. You can expect some pretty exciting street parties and city activation across the board. So there's no question that it is definitely now is the time to get into the city, try out one of the restaurants. You can visit experienceadelaide.com.au to see what activities, what events are happening after you've done some shopping. Go and spend a few dollars in the city and support the traders.
No thoughts of getting Johnny Farnham out of retirement for the 15th time to do another jingle for Rundle Mall? Did you see that commercial he did way back when?
I did. I've been pushing for some more budget to get funds. So if you guys can help me out with that, we might have to go to the people and see what we can do.
Let's do it. I'm sure we can rally. Hey, if we can get cubby houses to stick, then I'm sure we can get Farnsey back. The redevelopment of these shops, is it a sign of things to come in the mall with other stores?
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much development still to come, and we're seeing interstate property players buy into the mall as well. So there's some very significant development still in the next 1 to 2 years. We've also got Uniqlo coming into the Myer Centre later on this year. We've got Jade Sports from the UK as well. So it's not stopping anytime soon. And when you consider, that we have hopefully the pandemic behind us to a degree, we will see the mall become regenerated and reinvigorated, and I think celebrated, because it's just improving every week.
You know, you're going to have campsites down the mall when JD Sports opens.
Oh, look, this is the funny thing, is that people love a bargain, they love to have a good experience, and that's the breadth of offering that the Rundle Mall offers. You know, we've got 700 plus stores in one strip, and that is the unique offering that Rundle Mall has, and we love it when people come and show their energy and their passion about getting into it, and it was the same on Boxing Day. You know, we had people from 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I was out there getting ready to buy my next toaster for the kitchen, and that's what Rundle Mall offers: the breadth and the products and the range. You just won't get anywhere else in Adelaide.
We've been talking a lot on the afternoons about Rundle Mall, and a lot of people. It was deserted for a long, long time during COVID, and it's taken a lot of confidence to get people back in. There's been a lot of meetings amongst business leaders, the Lord Mayor, and yourselves. A lot of feedback from the public, and one of those is always parking. The cost of parking always comes up. What's being done about that?
Yeah, look, we're always looking at these things, and we try to take the anecdotal feedback and also pair it with the data, because we do know that often we do get a lot of different feedback, but it also comes with ranges of context as well. So we are looking at that and working with the traders. We've obviously got UPark are always providing fantastic rates with our UPark Plus rewards program as well. You can often get fantastic rates in the city, but we are looking at it more holistically, and the Adelaide Economic Development Agency is here to play, is not just looking at it through the eyes of the Rundle Mall trader, but more broadly and encouraging visitation as much as we can. So we are developing some strategies at the moment, and we'll have more to say on that in time.
Wonderful. Michael Rossi, thanks so much for joining the program.
No worries, guys, and get on down to Rebel, and I'm sure you'll find yourself a great deal, and see if you can shoot some hoops from the three line.
I love it. Thank you, Michael Rossi there from Adelaide Economic Development Agency, managing Rundle Mall. 8:45 now on 5AA Breakfast with Michael Smith and Jade Robran in for Will and Dave, both out with the Rona. It's time to check the traffic now. Get your tickets today for the Hospital Research Foundation's Hospital Home Lottery, the biggest ever, a $4 million grand prize.
At Marston got a smash on Richmond Road near South Road. Regency Park, breakdown on the north-south motorway near South Road. West Hindmarsh, drainage works on Port Road near South Road. That's as you're heading outbound. Got lane closed and speeds at 40. Busy at the moment, so Donald Rabbit Drive, Baggett Street to South Road with cameras Gulfview Road, Christie's Beach, Jetty Road, Larks Bay. Get 50% off Silly Posturepedic mattresses now at 40 weeks, plus and double Qantas points. Ends this Sunday. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. 40 weeks, serious about sleep. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Take racing to the next level with Top Toed Exotics. Place an exotic bet, including a quaddie, at Randwick, Caulfield and Ascot this Saturday and get the top toed price across all 3 tabs. Take it to the next level. Gamble responsibly.
Thousands of people have walked through the stunning Beechwood display home at Blackwood Park. some of those people several times because it's just that good. But your time is running out. It's just been sold. From April, the home will be closed. But fear not, because now you can go behind the scenes of a Beechwood home while under construction. You'll get an incredible insight into what makes Beechwood homes an SA favourite. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
Thanks Frydenberg and ScoMo for the $250. That works out to $1.60 a week over the next 3 years. Tell them they're dreaming. Vote 1 United Australia Party. Authorised by Clive Palmer for the United Australia Party, Brisbane.
Cancer Council SA is calling on all of us to help build a new home of cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support.
Every day there are 31 new cases of cancer diagnosed in South Australia, so the need for ongoing support for individuals and their families, no matter where they live in our state, is absolutely paramount.
Cancer Council SA's new building will offer 120 rooms of supported accommodation alongside cancer research, prevention and support services.
Right now they need your help to fill it with equipment needed to save and improve lives. From toys to TVs, there are so many items needed to provide families with the comforts of home. By making a donation of just $20, you'll be helping thousands of families impacted by cancer.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate today. That's 202greenhill.com.au.
Peaceful living awaits at the 19th at West, with golf course views, tree-lined walking trails, a new cafe and retail shopping precinct. The best of the West is at your fingertips, with new 3 and 4 bedroom designs and prices beginning from just $730K. It's no surprise 19th at West is selling quickly. Discover the new collection today. The19thwest.com.au. Delivered by Commercial and General, proudly creating South Australian communities for 25 years.
For over 38 years, Steinborner Automotive has always been well worth a trip. And right now, Steinborners are the place to go for top dollar on your trade-in. They will do any trade, and this month they're offering a further $1,500 bonus on all trade-ins. So go out to one of Steinborner's 8 locations for Hyundai, Mitsubishi, Ford and SA's best range of used cars. View all their used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth a trip.
Any team versus any team is new to Neds. Pick any 2 AFL teams and create a bet for your team to outscore the other in the same round. If your team scores more points, you win. Take the AFL to the next level. T's and C's apply. See website for details. Gamble responsibly.
We don't just say we're local. We are local. 9 News is made in Adelaide for Adelaide.
Help create a home for South Australians impacted by cancer. Visit 202greenhill.com.au.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings,
who are both on the Rona sick list. Michael Smith and Jade Robran in the hot seat in the coronavirus petri dish that we call the 5AA studio in Hindmarsh Square.
It is the cruise ship of coronavirus in Radioland.
Oh, it's gone through the joint, hasn't it? Nice day out there, though.
It certainly is. It's partly cloudy today. We're reaching a top of 24 degrees. Partly cloudy, winds southeasterly 20 to 30 knots, and big fat 0% chance of rain.
Get the hose out to water the garden, hey. Now, have you heard of a bloke called Edwin Flack?
Sport. Something to do with sport, yes?
Australia's first ever Olympian. I talk about Edwin Flack because it was on this day in 1896 that he was, I think he was Australia's only competitor at the first modern Olympics in Athens in 1896.
Wow.
And he won Australia's first gold medal. Although technically we weren't a federated country in 1896, but he was the first person from Australia to win a gold medal in the 1800 metres.
So our only representative, and he goes in and he wins a gold.
Yes.
What a star.
And not only did he win gold in the 1500, but he won gold in the 800 metres. So how's that? Your first Olympic outing, representing your country, you win 2 major events. Apparently he was a very good tennis player as well. And then he thought, well, I'm here, so I may as well have a crack at the marathon, as you do. He'd only ever run about 16 Ks before. No, I think he came second in the marathon.
He's cleaned up. He's walked away with, 4 medals?
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know whether he won a medal in tennis, but certainly in athletics. Edwin Flack, a much sort of unsung hero of the Australian movement. A couple of gold medals, not bad for your first outing at the Olympics.
Not a bad effort at all. Man of all talents. We've got some breaking news coming through. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has said on Brisbane Radio that the Commonwealth will co-fund the $771 million flood assistance package for those in the eastern states. So New South Wales and Queensland, as we know, have been absolutely smashed by flooding pretty much since the beginning of the year. They're really not getting any reprieve whatsoever, and certain areas of New South Wales are expected more flooding around today, tomorrow. So just repeating that, Scott Morrison has said that the Commonwealth will co-fund the $771 million flood package. I wonder if this is a little too late for that group of people up there. They've been crying out for help for weeks and weeks now and pleading with this man to help them, and it's come now. I feel like a lot of them will say too late.
And some of them have been hit with these once-in-a-thousand-year floods within the space of a couple of weeks.
That's exactly right.
It's been relentless up there. 9 minutes to 9 on 1395 Adelaide's 5AA. Thanks to Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, interstate freight distribution, warehousing and local Adelaide couriers. Call Aussie Fast on 131364. Here's Blakey.
And when we get behind
1395 Adelaide's 5AA. This is Andrew Brymer.
I fell in love and my love still grows. Ask any fool like she ever knew today. I'll keep away from a run around Sue, yeah.
And what a way to start off the show with a song like Run Around Sue with Dion there. Dion DiMucci and my producer Gina was bopping around the studio. She loved that song. It's a great way to start off the show with a feel-good song like Run Around Sue, which of course is all about being unfaithful to someone who put their trust in you, and she took that trust and totally betrayed that trust. So a feel-good song to start with, and of course if you are in love with someone and then you find out that they are sleeping with every other person in the town that you both live in, it's enough to make you question whether it's worth ever trusting anyone ever again. So a good feel-good song there, as always, to start the show with, and you can give me a call now on 8223. And tonight there is a method to my madness surrounding Run Around Sue, because we are going to be talking about people who give you the runaround and rip you off blind, and people who sue you in a court of law. So the runaround and the sue there, two feel-good subjects that make our lives completely miserable, and we'll be talking about all of that tonight. So give us a call and join in the misery.
The genius that is John Blake. 7 minutes to 9 on 5AA.
Ladbroke it on the AFL with Ladbroke's Same Game Multi. Add your favourite markets from the same game and watch your potential payout increase. Ladbroke it with a Same Game Multi on the AFL. Gamble responsibly.
If you have a personal alert system that relies on a landline and is connected to your NBN modem, it may not work during a power failure. Upgrade today for just $99. That's 75% off normal price. For more info, go to carealert.com.au.
Fast Movers SA recognises the most innovative, smartest and fastest growing South Australian businesses.
If your business turns over $200,000 plus per year, then nominate now at fastmoverssa.com.au.
Nominations are open until April 29, and thanks to the Fast Movers SA sponsors, there are some pretty amazing prizes to be won.
At 5AA, we love celebrating South Australian businesses, and that's exactly what the Fast Movers SA competition does, recognising South Australia's fastest growing, most innovative and arguably smartest businesses.
So put yourself out there, nominate now at fastmoverssa.com.au, proudly supported by 1395 Adelaide's 5AA.
So why go with NRG Solar?
The solar system installed by NRG Solar has made us change our habits in relation to the use of electricity. We followed the advice to use most of the electricity, like the aircon, during the day, and so I think that's a way of forcing the prices down as well. We have solar monitoring, and I consult it most every day, and it's been very useful to see the trends.
Visit nrgsolar.com.au.
Adelaide BMW has a new home at Medindi BMW, specialising in next-day genuine BMW servicing and a large range of premium certified used BMWs. Visit Medindi BMW today at number 1 Main North Road, Medindi.
Ned's early payout is on the AFL. Place a head-to-head bet on any game this round, and if your team is up by 20 points or more at half-time, you win. Take the AFL to the Ned's level. First $250 staked. T's and C's apply. Visit the website for details. Gamble responsibly.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head online to 5AA Facebook or search 5AA on YouTube.
Visit 202greenhill.com.au and donate to cancer accommodation, research, prevention and support this April.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
Both sadly off with coronavirus this morning. Michael Smith and Jade Robran with you on 5AA. We were talking earlier about my flashback segment, which is coming up on 7 News on Sunday night, focusing on the heyday of roller skating in Adelaide. Lots of people sending in some really fond memories. One text here saying absolutely loved roller skating, the old metal with leather on your toes types. I guess they're the ones you sort of strapped over your Grosbys. Remember them? Or your Dunlop volleys?
No. Oh yeah,
the metal ones. They sort of had a leather tie over the top. Used to skate down the hill at a house in England, says this texter. Then here at the Modbury one, be great to bring back a purpose-built arena. It would be good to have a purpose-built roller drum.
It's growing momentum. I think it's a thing, and I like the area where you want to put it too, just off Green Hill Road there. There's certainly plenty of parklands, plenty of parking, just near the netball nets.
Yep.
I reckon it'd be great.
That was a suggestion that Steve Condis made back in the 80s when downtown closed. So if you had an outdoor rink there that could fit several hundred people on a weekend, I'm sure that'd be hugely popular. It'd be nice to see a proper indoor rink too. And certainly, judging by my visit to the Ingle Farm Rec Centre last week, there are a lot of people, particularly young people, really keen to get into skating. It'd be nice for them to have a facility, some even dreaming of the Olympics. I didn't realise it was an Olympic sport, certainly in the Junior Olympics.
When you do your piece to camera today for your story, are you going to put some on?
No, there's a lot I'll do for flashback, but I'm not willing to break my arm. The cameraman did try and suggest I get on some quads when we were out there the other night, and I thought, yeah, no.
That's really disappointing.
It's been about 30 years since I've roller skated, Jade.
Hey, it's like riding a bike.
You reckon?
Well, not really, because I tried water skiing the other day thinking it was just like riding a bike, and I've torn my hamstring, which those that listen in the afternoon would know that it's now a 6-week thing. I should have spoken to Tom Duday about it, actually. We could have bonded over hamstrings.
Once you're up on skis, on water, it's fine. I've done a lot of face planting up in the Murray over the years. Downhill snow skiing's a lot easier because at least you're sort of in the start position.
Well, don't get me started on that. I've done a couple of knees snow skiing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Throw myself kamikaze into everything.
Do you have any original parts, or are you mainly replacement at
Pretty
this
much
point?
not.
Oh.
No. We're also talking about Rundle Mall. A lot of changes happening today. A few new stores that are opening, which is great news. We've got a message here. Love Games World in Rundle Mall. So many great board games and puzzles have kept the kids entertained during ISO. Love that. Love that you didn't just pop them on, on the electric games that we bought, all out the old school puzzles and board games. We did that.
Monopoly and stuff.
We did. I loved it.
David Alberton, I wonder if that's our regular correspondent, David Alberton, saying he loves St Clair roller skating coupled with blue light discos. Are they still a thing? Have a pash at a blue light after you've been roller skating? That's a big night out.
I reckon I had my first pash at a blue light disco. Now, some good news. Yesterday, we spoke to Marion Mayor Chris Hanna on the show. The boys spoke to her and... Chris Hanna. And they were talking about this father that built a cubby house for his stepdaughters. Now, it's a rather large cubby house. They wanted him to take it down, and he said, well, hang about. Why? Let's at least talk this over. And good news, the council have extended an olive branch, and they are going to enter into discussions today. So the cubby house may stay.
It's a pretty cool looking cubby house, isn't it?
It looks kind of dangerous. If my boys got involved in this, I feel like there would be broken limbs.
Especially if you're up there wearing roller skates, Jade.
Especially.
Thank you for your company today. We'll keep you updated on the progress of Will and Dave as they deal with coronavirus.
Yeah, get well soon, lads.
Hopefully they're not listening.
They'd be devastated listening to you and I. No, but thank you so much for working with us all today and listening in. It's been everything's been mashed together at the very, very last minute, which is COVID. It's the world we're in.
It's 9 o'clock news time.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio, and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide.